Food is the global language of love that each and every one of us has a connection to. It heightens every sense we possess with each passing bite as we blissfully indulge while simultaneously nourishing our soul. We don't need to speak the same language to understand the importance of the culinary experience. For my guest, it's been in his blood since he was a toddler. Triggering his youthful olfactory senses, prancing around the family kitchen, developing an experienced palette of flavors, bite by bite. Slowly building the very foundation of his craft that carried him throughout the rest of his life, turning passion into livelihood. From deciding to pull out of joining the Marines last minute, to pursuing his destiny attending the French Culinary Institute, my guest has a drive that could pull a fleet of cruise ships across the Atlantic. After working in some of the most prestigious restaurants in the region, he found a late love for hand-making some of the most impressive pasta I've ever had. It is in that process where he found his recent home, supplying a vast array of restaurants with their homemade pasta in the tri-state area and crafting some of the most innovative and impressive sandwiches to date. This podcast not only taught me a lot about the culinary arts, but I got to learn about the rise of one of New Jersey's greatest assets when it comes to the food industry. Please welcome Chef Michael Cosenza of Mike's Pasta and Sandwich Shop. You're now listening to the Sauce Talk Podcast. What up, everybody? It's your boy Al Siggity Sauce, and welcome back to the Sauce Talk Podcast. Today, I'm here with the legendary chef Michael Cosenza.
What's up?
What's up, baby? Up? Thank you for coming, bro. I can't believe we've been talking for years, and I never met you until today.
Yeah, no, it's been a long time coming.
A long time.
Yeah, you had raviolis a long time. I shocked your life.
Oh. Shocked me at the word.
Yeah.
What was in those? Mortadella, foie gras.
Yeah. Jesus Christ. I did that same filling 2 weekends ago. I did the Ashley Lauren Foundation. They raise money for kids fighting cancer and stuff like that. So I had this big event down in Spring Lake 2 weeks ago. So I did that filling inside of a ricotta donut. So
that must have been silly.
It was like the dumbest little munchkin you've ever had.
I should have came through and copped.
Yeah. I try to have fun. I try to have fun with it.
You have to, man. You gotta throw in that creativity, that passion, and all that.
Yeah.
Well, I'd like to get a little background on you. Right. Where did you grow up? Did you grow up in the town you reside in currently, right?
No. So I was born in Brooklyn. My family's all.
You're from Brooklyn, huh?
Yeah. Marine Park, and moved to Central Jersey. When I was a young one.
Oh, that's what you were explaining to me before. That's right.
And then about 13, 14, me and my father worked in the city. And 13, 14 years old, me and my brother were getting in a lot of trouble. So he was like, let's move closer. It's closer to work for him, and kind of change the pace, bring us to a neighborhood where we didn't know anybody. Maybe suppress some of the bullshit that we were doing. But
you just have one brother, right? You don't have any sisters or nothing?
No, I got two stepsisters. My mother got remarried, and I got two stepsisters. So I'm the youngest one. So I grew up in Belleville. Did I had a good run when I was younger. Yeah, I feel like I definitely squeezed the fruit as much as I could.
Sat on the tuna till it squirted.
Yo, you ain't kidding, man.
What's your ethnicity? Are you 100% Italian?
No, I'm Italian, and my mother is Italian and Spanish.
Oh, like from Spain,
from
Spanish?
Spain, from España.
Interesting.
España.
Look at the list, man.
You gotta roll the list. Yeah. Oh, yeah. So, my great-grandfather, he fought, I don't know how much fighting he actually did, but he came the Spanish-American War against America. He was kind of forced into it.
Wow.
So he landed in Cuba. From what I know, he kind of like just dipped off, got on a boat, ended up in Brooklyn, sent for his family, and they came over, and Yeah.
It's interesting, like those past generations and like what they had to do to get here.
Oh,
Like,
God.
we had it so easy in comparison, you know what I mean?
Yeah. And I think a lot of that is, it's relative to how I feel like a lot of life is pretty easy. So you find problems. And that's,
Yep.
I feel like that's a big thing right now.
Yeah, it is.
You don't care about a lot of shit if there's a saber-toothed tiger chasing you. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, it all goes out the window.
Right, yeah. No, nothing matters.
Yeah, it's fucking crazy, man.
Yeah.
When it comes to passionate people in the industry, and the food industry rather, it's very rare that the love for the culinary arts starts later on in life, right? Like in adulthood. Usually the onset for that and the love typically sprouts from when like you're in a really young age. For you, when did your love and appreciation for food truly start for you?
Well, yeah, you're absolutely right. It started when I was young. Everybody in my family is, for the most part, everybody's a decent cook. Some are really good. Some, my aunts, they have beautiful gardens. My uncle had this amazing garden in Seattle. So holidays, I was always very involved and very intrigued and loved being in the kitchen, loved the holidays, basically just for the food. I knew when I was younger, I knew when I was little, like I loved doing this and I could make a career out of it. So I really never did anything else.
Who in your family did you cook with or enjoy and aspired to be when you were growing up in your family? Was it your mother, your grandmother, grandfather?
So my mother, she was awesome. Mostly Italian food, and then we'd get some Spanish stuff, thrown in the mix. Tripe with chickpeas and all that good stuff.
Drip.
Yeah, that's my shit. And my uncle, my godfather, he was ahead of his time as far as what a home cook was back then. I have his recipe cards, and you're going back to the 80s, and this wasn't stuff that people were doing in their homes. And he would have these dinner parties at his
whole spread.
Yeah, he was he had a huge garden, and then he had a community garden that he grew vegetables solely to give them out to less fortunate people.
Oh, what a great guy.
He stud his whole life. Like he didn't get married until he got cancer, and he was on his way out the door. And then that's when he got married. It was just kind of like, so somebody got his pension and all that jazz. But he had that thing. And then I have an older cousin. He's 10 years older than me. He went to CIA, and they were my older cool cousins from Brooklyn. And you want to be them. They were cool. They had girls. They good looking dudes. I was like, that's who I idolized them. And my cousin Mike, he went to culinary school, and and he was like the first chef of the family. And then I followed a few years after him.
Oh wow!
Yeah.
When was that definitive moment that you realized, like, I actually want to do this for a living and I want to do this forever? Was there any moment that stuck out in your head that like you're like that light bulb went off? You're like, I want to do this forever.
So I was working in restaurants already. And just short order cook. I would be a dishwasher. I'd wait tables.
In your teenage years?
Yeah, I started my first restaurant job. I was a busboy at Forest Hill Country Club in Bloomfield.
Oh, okay.
My friends, we would all go and drink in the golf course at night. Yeah. And then the ones that got rowdy, they throw all like the pool furniture into the pool. And then I'd get to work the next day. And then the kids that I'm working with, they're all fishing all the
shit out.
I'm like, those kids are assholes. Who would do that?
Yeah, right.
Yeah. So I graduated high school, barely. I think I don't have any like pieces of shit in my family. I say I don't. Everybody's solid.
That's great.
Yeah, super blessed, and I knew I needed to do something. I always loved cooking. I was ready. I was going to the Marines. I was all signed up to go, and And then I got cold feet at the 11th hour. I was like, I'm not going. And I was talking to my stepdad, and he was just kind of like, you're good at this. Why don't you just do it? And I didn't want to, at first, go down that route. It was like, am I going to lose the love for it if I'm doing it for a living?
That's key, yeah.
And I'm happy I did. I sent my application in to French Culinary Institute, and I sent an application into the Philadelphia School of Interior Design. They were like, I ain't taking this fucking kid. So, but the culinary school will take anybody. So, I'm happy that's how it all played out.
If you could dig deep for me, if you could channel, your spirituality, just because I think that this question's kind of important and I'm interested to hear your take on it. If you could, what does cooking really mean to you? Or rather, what does cooking do for your soul?
I can give you the run-of-the-mill answers of, cooking saved my life. It got me, it gave me direction. It gave me this. It gave me that. I never thought that hospitality would be, and that's what it is. You're making people happy through your craft, through food. And I never thought that was going to be my angle in life. I'm not much of a people person. I can live on a 10-acre ranch in Montana and not see anybody, and I'm fine, So for me, it was an outlet. I was always creative. I loved to draw. I loved to spray paint when I was younger. And it gave me the opportunity to do something that I'm really, really good at. Other people see that I'm good at it. And then I get paid to do it. I get paid to do what I love. And I feel very, very grateful and blessed that I was able to find this angle in life. They say that don't let your job or what you do for a living, that's not who you are. If it's not who you are, this is not the industry for you.
Yeah.
It's so deeply rooted in your veins. Just even I was one of the chefs at New Jersey Food and Wine Festival. And it's just being around this many people. It's such a great community to be part of. The way everybody just kind of looks out for each other. Everybody's each other's cheerleader. And there's not many industries like that. There's not many things where everybody's just kind of rooting each other on, and there's this, undercurrent of competition, of course, because we all think we're great, right?
Yeah.
So it's very fulfilling. The dash on your headstone. My dash has a lot of cool stuff.
Yeah.
I've loved cooking as a kid, and that's the other thing. Not a lot of, what do you want to be when you grow up? Not a lot of those answers are what you ended up doing.
Yeah, for the most part, yeah.
How many fucking astronauts do you know?
Exactly.
So
that's what my son wants to be really bad.
So it's just I do. I feel I'm super blessed. And the older I get, the more I understand what success really is. What I understand, my understanding of wealth has changed dramatically over the last couple of years.
You live and you learn, right?
Yeah, nobody gets into this business because they want to make a lot of money, right? Your profit margin on a restaurant, you're lucky if you have a 5%.
Yeah,
after everything is done, right? You don't do this because you're going to get rich. You don't do this because you want the big house, the big cars, all that. You do it because you got that fire, and you want to be good at it. So, and then if you're lucky and you work hard and you put yourself in really good positions and surround yourself with good people, the intersection of making good money and being successful at your craft, sometimes they meet at an intersection.
Yeah.
So, when I first started, it was chasing the dollar, doing this, doing that. And then once I let go of that and just worried about doing what I do it as good as I can, everything else worked out for me. Everything else clicked. Everything, if you're chasing the wrong thing, it doesn't pan out for you in the end. And it never works the way you think it's gonna.
Yeah.
And I think, I'll never sell out. I'll never sacrifice my morals or, just how I am as a person. I'm never going to do that for a paycheck. This is who I am. This is me. And this is what I do. And if I can become uber successful being that,
that's all that matters.
great. If I don't get to whatever this, at the top of the mountain,
You did what you wanted anyway.
I did what I wanted. I'm happy. I touch people's lives. I don't.
Of course.
Some people can. And it's not a knock on other professions. Some people they're okay with sitting in a cubicle in front of a computer, doing what they got to do, crunching numbers and this and that. I can't. I'm not built that way. I need interaction. I need to create. I need to just really get my hands in things. And I am super lucky. I got such a good support system. Great chefs around me. So I couldn't do anything else. As much as I thought about it,
That's beautiful, man.
there's nothing else I could have done in life.
That's beautiful, man.
Yeah.
I hate to be repetitive, but
No, it's all right.
kind of some of the things that you just said kind of correlates to the podcast I was telling you about that I recorded recently with the beverage director, Sean Struss. And, there was something that, my father was, I guess you could say my father was in the restaurant industry, not in the way that you are, but he was in the commercial laundry business.
Okay.
So he was a commercial laundry salesman and chef coats, mopines, towels,
Right.
tablecloths,
The rugs.
the whole,
Yeah.
exactly, the whole nine. So being a kid, I got to go with him to a lot of these restaurants, see what it was, meet the restaurant owners, and see the long hours they worked. And the main thing is the sacrifice. And one thing that I don't think that is paid attention to and brought to light enough is the mental health of the people in the food industry. It is one of the most, not only are you sacrificing your life, but it destroys people. What I mean by that is the long hours. You're never home with your families, but you're at the same time, you're getting joy. Like you just said, you're providing comfort, you're providing nourishment to people and experience and happy times. And you're trying to do that while still being a family guy, being loyal to your wife. And a lot of these guys, they're at their restaurant more than they are at home. So they develop relationships with their bar back or their hostess, and the infidelity starts, and then the cocaine and the drugs, because you have to stay up all these long hours. And I don't think there's enough focus on the tough life that is being in the restaurant, food, and beverage industry than there should be. And him and I touched on that a lot. And, the stuff that you were saying with you don't do this for the money.
Right.
It's different. It's bigger than that.
Oh, so
and you
much.
wouldn't put yourself through all those things that I mentioned if you didn't really love it. It's a double-edged sword, man.
You're 100% right. The amount of chefs that I know that on the surface in the restaurant, they are the king. They are the top of their own mountain. But at what cost?
Yeah.
Because a lot of private lives are in shambles.
Shambles.
Fucking shambles.
Oh, really, man?
Yeah. And it's
bad.
It's definitely gotten better. The spotlight on mental health in the industry, coupled with the mental health of men, which is also starting to finally get its due. because, you know, we're supposed to just suck it up and keep moving forward, right? I've been in the restaurant industry now for 20 years.
It's a long time.
Yeah, I'm 39 years old now. It has changed so much in 20 years. What it started as to what it is now, there's a lot more quality of life, a lot more balance that people talk about. Me, I never understood the balance. What balance is to you is different to me, or not you in particular, but
yeah, I understand what you mean.
You know, how about my balance was, I'm going to go as hard as I can for 20, 25 years and then disappear. Then now I have all the time in the world. Like I earned my chops. I did whatever. I made investments. I did this. That was always the goal. It was just push.
Yeah.
And I lost a lot. Like, you know, I get divorced. I missed most of my son's childhood. So I was working.
Yeah, it's hard, man.
And it was, you know, I wake up, I bring him to school. That was really the only time I saw him. Because by the time I got out of the kitchen, I got home. If he was up, it's like, why are you still up, dude? Like, go to bed, you know? And
he really probably was staying up to see you.
Yeah. It's like 5-6 days a week. And, you know, it's taxing. I wish I took care of my health more. You know, you do the rock star thing, especially when I first started. When I first started kicking it hard in the early 2000s. You know, you do the rock star lifestyle, right?
The money's flowing.
You have money.
Cheese.
You're not making a lot of money, but you're always working, so you're not out spending it, right? So you always have something. And then the drinks, after shift, you know, a server comes in with pitchers of beers for the crew, you know, and you're doing that 5-6 days a week. And then you get a good review. And then now you're blowing lines.
You're
Like, there's just so much to it, you know? And it wasn't until really COVID came, and it was, like when I was younger, I went to the gym, I did this, I had my little moments, but nothing was ever, it was never the full package with me. So like, I could be in amazing shape. Like I am Jersey Shore beach ready.
Yeah.
But my mental is, I'm in shambles. Or I'm focused, my head is on right, and my fucking meat bag is just falling apart, you know? So it wasn't until now, and I'm 39, I turned 39 in February. It wasn't until now that I feel like everything it's starting to line up.
Starting to make sense.
Yeah, you know, and I'm not in a rush. Like, I've had opportunities come my way. If it's not for me, it's not for me. I'm not chasing anything. I'm on my cool path. I got out of the restaurant game. It's weird. So I was up at Crystal Springs for the Jersey Food and Wine Festival. All these chefs, it's all the best of the best in New Jersey. I do wish that they had some of the old guard there that they didn't have this year. Like the people that you look up to.
Yeah, of course. The OGs, if you will.
Yeah. I wish they had more of them there. But I'm looking around, and I go to my partner, Mike. Like, I'm the only person that's here that's wearing a chef coat that's home at 7:00 every night.
Yeah. It's crazy, right?
It's like I got myself in this really cool slot to where I'm deeply rooted in the restaurant game, because I make pasta for all these great restaurants. I'm like, I always say, I'm your favorite chef's favorite pasta maker, you know? So I get to do that. So I'm on the supply end of it.
Yeah.
But I'm still cooking. I'm still, you know.
Of course.
And then I do events. I do this, I do that. I keep my name out there. I keep, you know.
You have a good balance now.
Yeah. Well, my son's 14, and he's very.
These are important years.
He's very attracted to the streets. He's very. Oh, yeah. It's tough. It's really, really hard. It's been a tough few years with him. what kind of position would he be in if I was working till midnight?
Wow, good point.
You know, I never thought that things happen for a reason. I never bought into that mantra. I always thought, like, you make a decision, this is the door that opens behind it. You make another decision.
Yeah.
That's what I always thought it was. Everything was like a house of cards kind of thing. And then there's so many different things needed to line up perfectly with timing, everything. So many different things needed to lock in with each other for me to be where I am now. It's hard for me not to look at everything like it wasn't by design.
Yeah.
It's just too much, you know. It's too many coincidences. Like, if that didn't happen, none of this does, you know. And there's so many different things over the years to where I'm where I'm supposed to be. I'm doing what I'm supposed to do, and this is the path that I'm supposed to be taking.
Yeah, life tends to work in mysterious ways. But cooking, the profession of cooking specifically, it's a very special craft. You know what I mean? I always, even though I don't do it myself, I always had a high appreciation for it. Yeah. You know, I don't have to be fully engaged in something for me to really recognize it. You know what I mean?
I don't know another adult that has more hobbies and interests than you. So I get it. You understand.
You want to take some?
Bro,
take the load off my
Rolodex, dude. But no, I do. It's a very, if you appreciate art,
oh yeah,
you appreciate hard work.
Yeah.
You appreciate the Julia Child. I'm gonna.
Wow, I used to watch her when I was a kid.
Oh, me too. I'm gonna chop this quote up.
I used to love watching her.
She's great. It was like, people that don't have a genuine interest in food are rather bland, you know.
That makes sense.
And it's really true.
Yeah,
you know,
makes sense.
like, you ever been out to eat with like a group of chicken finger people? Like,
forget about it.
It's fucking terrible.
It's like 5 bunch of my kids.
Right. And it's just
bunch of 5-year-olds.
And it's not just the food, but like that kind of, it travels to conversation and you know,
of course.
It's like, if you're an adult, this is who you are. Like, I'm probably, you know,
I know, yeah.
I can't fuck with you.
The one thing about cooking that I personally appreciate the most is that connection that the chef has with the art of cooking itself. You know, like that emotional, spiritual connection. You know, channeling the ancestors and tradition of every culture.
Yes.
That is being celebrated through each dish. You know, it's almost as if you're being guided by like the spirits of that area, conducting this like savory symphony of flavors. You know, telling a story to the patron. You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah.
So I always appreciated that, and I love, you know, one of my favorite shows of all time is Chef's Table, and that probably displays what I'm saying the most.
Yes.
I get to hear them speak and share their story, and that, you know, that's like one of the main reasons that I have you here today, is because I wanted to hear, you know, your story. I love hearing everybody's story, especially when it comes to food, because there's always that spiritual connection with it. You know, like for me, when I was younger, getting those incredible home cooked meals from my mother, and you know, it was soulful, it was comforting, you know, and nothing tastes better to you, especially when you're a kid. Excuse me. You know, than a home cooked meal. You know what I mean? It's very comforting. It's like a warm blanket.
Yeah. No,
you
absolutely.
know, being wrapped in it, and it was close to the heart. But moving further down the timeline, you know, of getting exposed to, you know, what else is really out there. You really realize there's levels upon levels to this shit, especially when it comes to cooking.
Yeah.
At what point did you have a realization in your life that there was a higher height for this art that you love so much in comparison to what you were used to growing up when it comes to cooking?
Yeah. So I always said there's really only 3 things that can transport you to a particular time in your life. And that's movies, music, and food. You know, you can hear a song and it brings you back to a certain year of your life. And, you know, a certain movie. And food is very transformative. I never like enjoy, not that I didn't enjoy it, but when I started cooking professionally, I never wanted to go to like an Italian American restaurant. Like I grew up on it.
Yeah.
And to find like a more modern approach to Italian food, you kind of had to search. Now that's flip-flopped.
Yeah.
So now every Italian place that's opening up now is very forward-thinking and progressive. And now I find myself, as I'm getting older, I'm like, where are these fucking red sauce joints?
Yeah, looking for that home-cooked meal with the floral plates.
Right, the wood panel walls.
Yeah.
And
it's funny, right?
Yeah, it's crazy. I love going to Angelo's in was that Lyndhurst, North Arlington?
Yeah. Never been, but I heard.
It's great. Go to Fried Galamad at Rudy's in Cliffside Park.
Isn't there a place in like I don't want to say North Bergen, somewhere over there, but like it's like they only have a certain amount of seatings.
Yeah,
it's like a house.
Oh, that's
like old ladies.
Fox.
And you can't pick the menu.
Forget what it is.
You know what I'm talking about, though, right?
Yeah.
I heard it's legit.
It's in Jersey City.
Yes, that's it. I heard it's legit, dude.
No.
Stupid.
But you see pictures of the bathroom. It's You
Yeah.
remember like back
It's
in
like
the
a
day?
time fucking warp,
like the tiles match the odd color of the bathtub and just
bro.
just crazy.
But that's like you said, that goes to incorporate what you're saying. Like you search for that home.
Yeah, it's
the nostalgia.
I think on my journey, I didn't have that connection until I feel like I needed to grow up. Right, everything was who's doing the coolest new thing. When I was graduating culinary school, you had the hitters that were sitting on the upper echelon of like the New York, Jersey food scene, like Wally Dufresne and the crazy stuff he was doing at WD-50, and David Chang was fucking blowing
Chang's
doors off, and then you had the old guard that you just idolized, people like Danielle Ballou and Eric Rupert and these guys, and then came Anthony Bourdain, which
rest in peace,
which just put your everything into words in ways that nobody, I think, will ever be able to do.
He was an absolute poet, and just hearing him speak like is the most inspiring shit I could ever listen to.
When he died, I put up a post, but it was he never shied from like the dark side of the human experience, and he
100%,
regardless of where he was, if he was in Vietnam or Cambodia, wherever the fuck, he kept that fucking window open for everybody to see.
You're right, yeah.
And it was really, really cool. It was very instrumental. I think that book, Kitchen Confidential.
I never read it. I have to.
Yeah,
I think I need to read it.
Give you a copy. I have a few.
Damn.
Yeah, probably the only thing I collected.
Yeah, well, dude,
books.
he's an important. That was the industry took a hit when he passed.
Yes, and there are shoes that can't be filled, but there is a monster void that's here now.
He paints such a picture, man. He's so good with words.
The one chef that, if he decides to go down that route, Christian Petroni.
Oh, that dude's dope, man. I've been following him recently. I'm like, who is this guy?
I could fucking listen to him talk about food.
My boy's friends with him, but I've never talked to him about it.
Fucking good. Solid, Bronx guy. He's just, but hearing him talk about food, it's so poetic and
it's beautiful.
It's amazing the way he can chop words up and you can close your eyes and you can see what he's saying.
It's more simplistic, but it doesn't mean he's not painting the picture for you.
Right.
Same way, just differently.
Right. Yeah. And in some ways, I can probably relate to him more.
Of course.
Yeah.
No, that dude is official.
Yeah. So I think with cooking, a lot of it, you chalk it up to your art, right? It doesn't become an art until you're the fucking guy. You spend so many years not being the guy.
Yeah, you're right.
You know, at that point of your career, you're a technician. You're not an artist. You're a mechanic. You're doing the same thing over and over and over again to produce the same results, and that's it. Don't fuck that up. That's your game. It's not until you start becoming the guy and you're the one creating, and then that's when the art of it starts to come into play. You know, and I was working for a chef. His name is Mike Danry. He died during COVID.
Oh, I'm sorry, man.
Yeah, he never, like, everybody should know who he is, but he was right there. You know,
He just never crossed over.
just never, super ahead of his time.
Where did he cook at?
Creative. He was in San Diego. Grew up in New Orleans. And then he came here. He worked.
He must have had an interesting.
I think it was like Drew's Bistro or some shit down the shore. So he did that, and then worked at a place called Serve, where he hired me and a couple other hitters. And it was like, instead of hiring a group of like 6, 7 guys, just hire 3. Just hire 3 monsters and pay them more.
3 gemstones.
Yeah, so that's what he did, and it worked. But it was under him that I really found my voice, and as far as food, found my style. What is my style?
Interesting, yeah.
You know, I thought I knew, but I didn't. All I was doing was copying. All I was doing was, you know, taking other things that I've seen, make them my own, and turn it into something else that I call mine. But it's not mine. And it wasn't until working for him that I really found my groove and how to really build a dish. You know, if you have a good touch, you know, and you have a good eye for aesthetics, you can make a dish look nice, but it's got to taste good.
It's got to taste good.
It's got to fucking taste good, you know?
And that's the art.
I can make food look fucking sexy, but that's not what's most important. That's the last thing I'm thinking about. It's building that dish. And then it wasn't until the one thing I think that really hit the switch for me was my first bowl of pho at a Vietnamese restaurant. Because it was like, here's something that everybody eats, right? The entire country has their own versions, but there's so many different things happening. If you eat everything separately, you get a different experience. But if you can get as much of that on one fork or one spoon, one chopstick hold, like, you got a different thing going on, right? So you have, from that point on, it was like, I didn't care what the ingredients were. Ingredients became secondary. It became just work on your textures. You hit as many textures as you can in the dish. Check them all off. Then your senses of taste. Check them all off. If you check off as many boxes as you can between flavor profiles and textures, you're going to have a great dish. Doesn't matter what the ingredients are. You know, so that pushed me out of if I'm doing a dish with capers, I'm automatically thinking of like Southern France or Southern Italy, this and that. Now that doesn't happen. It's just like, I'm just looking at a caper as this like salty, acidic thing that where can that go? You know, it's so, and I think, and it's, a lot of that is maturity. So you figure out how to do that, but then now you figure out how to put that together with the least amount of product, least amount of ingredients, right? You see young cooks that are studs as far as technique. They have 27 different things on a dish. It's like, all right, now
it's a little overwhelming.
Do that for 40 people in 20 minutes. Like, can you do that?
There's levels to this, for real.
Right. You know, so the older you get, the more mature I think you become with your palate and your understanding of flavor and taste and the way things can kind of coexist together. You end up with less and less, right? It's that Coco Chanel thing, right? Yeah, get dressed and before you leave, take something off. Yeah, it's the same thing.
Yeah.
You know? So I think that's kind of where It comes from other people that have been doing it longer than you, and it also comes from your own experiences, from what you had growing up, and then what makes you tick. There's a lot of great chefs now that are doing Michelin caliber food that you can wear a hoodie and a fucking backwards Yankee hat and be comfortable. Yeah, and I love that about the restaurant scene now.
Yeah, that's great, because there's a lot of people that like, they have the money to take that leap, but they just, the way they are at heart isn't of that world, because that world is crazy, because you could walk in a room and just like feel the thickness in the air, and it's an uncomfortable thickness.
Oh yeah,
that holier than thou density in the air.
When I went to
you don't like that.
When I went to Le Bernardin, it was snowing. I went for my birthday. I get there, I gotta wear a jacket, and you walk in and you just feel tight. Like,
I hate that feeling.
This is too much, and then
like, you don't feel welcome in a sense, but you deserve to be there.
Right.
So it's like, who the fuck you think you are?
Exactly.
I have to smack you.
So it took me, and my wife at the time, it took us a little bit, it was like this adjustment.
Yeah.
And then it wasn't until we saw the orchestra, the symphony of restaurant staff, that just...
That's an art in itself, dude.
The food was amazing. The food, what I loved about the food the most was I never felt outclassed. It was like, you're doing okay, Mike. I went for my 30th birthday. It's like, you're on the right track. Like, there was nothing where I was like, wow, I got to step my game up, or why didn't I think? Like, there was none of that.
What was this place again, you said?
Le Bernardin, Eric Rupert's restaurant. I mean, it's, top 10 in the world.
Where is that located?
It's in the city. Seafood centric. Very seafood heavy, very big on technique, but it was just, the food was amazing, but watching the service was the highlight.
Isn't that great when you fucking go somewhere? There's nothing, you can't compare that to anything. The experience of when the service is money.
Dude, they put the glasses down. Or as soon as you get up from your seat to go to the bathroom, you get back to your seat, there's somebody there waiting to pull your chair out, put it back, give you a fresh linen for your lap.
It's
whatever.
folded already,
Everything is just, the guy drops the silverware and he turns, and as he turns, the next person comes with glasses. Boom. And everything is just...
It's like synchronized swimming, dude.
And
it's
then
like fucking...
The sommelier is walking around with the big fucking Flavor Flav.
And their knowledge on the pairings is like top notch.
Yeah. So it was like, after we got comfortable, after that whole stuffy feeling.
I hate that feeling.
Right? I did. I felt like I was like in a fucking business meeting that I have no reason to be at, Like, why did they have me come to the office today? Like, that's how I felt. And once you let go of that and you just kind of just succumb
experience
to what they're doing, it was still, top 3 meals I ever had.
You know what makes those stuffy situations even worse? When you go with somebody that really doesn't know.
Yeah.
Oh, because then you're like, not only are you uncomfortable already,
right,
but then now you're like embarrassed.
Yeah.
At the same time, you're like, fuck.
Yeah.
What's going on? They're
Absolutely.
looking at you and shit. You're like, oh man, that's the worst feel. The stuffiness is the worst though.
Yeah. And that's why, like, I think there's a couple restaurants that stand out to me right now that are really, they're pushing and staying relative at the same time, which is, I think, really important.
Maintaining that beautiful balance.
Yeah, like the food that Nick DeRosa is doing at Black Sheep, he's doing a chef's menu. Like, where do cooking professionals, what do they want to eat? He's doing that food, and it's fucking magical.
I gotta go there.
Yeah. I can never remember. I'm horrible with names, but the chef, Grand Tavern, Neptune City.
Silly. There's so many good restaurants here,
dude. It's really
Montclair alone.
Yeah,
has a shit ton.
Montclair's went through waves, dude. Montclair's on
right now. It's popping.
It's fucking renaissance.
I was on Google the other day. I almost had a heart attack.
Yeah.
I'm like, there's this much good pasta restaurants here. Like, what the fuck?
It's making it came back with vengeance. You know, you had the earlier guard of the Montclair restaurant scene with Zod at Blue and
Giotto. Remember Giotto days?
Giotto. Mike Carino
Fascino
at Passionate, and then Ryan at Fascino, and can't forget my girl Arian Duarte from Culinarian.
Oh my god, I forgot about that place.
Chef. Right. So you had hitters, dude. You had they really set the tone, and it seemed like Montclair was going in a really good direction as far as culinary and the arts. Arts, everything included, right? Well, all the festivals and the music and all the different shows. Yeah, they were really going. And then it just kind of hit
a wall.
It hit like this fucking cold fart for a little bit. That I don't know what did it. I don't know if it was demographic changing, if it was just a couple restaurants closing, and then the residual effects of that. There's so many different. I don't know enough to say like what was the reason, but now, now this shit is.
I think like now, not only Montclair, I think everywhere is just. Right. Like when I was in my 20s, I always loved food, but I had a real bad run-in with drug addiction throughout like most of my 20s. Not all of them, but most of them.
Okay.
So I missed out on a lot of that appreciation in adulthood for fine dining. So I had to catch it later on,
right?
Like my late 20s, early 30s. And just going to these places, but so I dabbled and I went to places little by little. I had to learn on my own, restaurant etiquette. My mother always taught it to me when I was a kid, but growing up, you learn things on your own and checking out different restaurants. And like you said, Montclair, they had a time, and then it fell back, and then it came back.
Yeah.
But now it's like, I feel like all over this goddamn fucking state, everywhere from south to, dude, me and my wife just went to this place called The Circle.
Oh, in Newton.
Dude. Now, there's only 3 people that I would ever take a restaurant recommendation from. Right. The first person is Jesselyn, my cousin, who you know very well, who's the reason why I know you.
Yes.
I know she gets half of her recommendations from you.
Yes.
So it's kind of like both two birds with one stone.
Right.
And my friend Alexander Ao, Chinese dude. But this dude, we call him the Asian Shrek.
Okay.
He's like 6'3", 240, shredded, savage, jujitsu maniac, tatted from his neck to his toes, with the old-fashioned way, with the fucking, where they hit the fucking hammer on the wood, the whole nine.
Big no.
Yeah, he's a savage. Yeah. Dragons all over. Those are the only people, you 3, that I like. If you tell me to go somewhere, I'm not going to ask you why, what kind of food it is.
Right.
And she actually recommended that place. I don't know if this one in particular, you recommended her to go.
Yeah.
What a journey. My wife took me there for my birthday, and I went, and where the fuck am I? Yeah. I'm on a fucking farm. These guys, this gay couple or whatever, these 2 gay guys from New York. I don't know if
they are. I don't know. Maybe.
I think they are. It doesn't matter.
Right.
But
no.
Come from New York.
And they're young, dude.
They got how many acres? There's a cornfield in the backyard.
Yeah.
They're young. The staff was super friendly. Cocktails were savage.
Yeah.
And it was a 300-year-old house. Mm-hmm. The fucking foundation was slanted.
Yeah.
I'm like, where the fuck am I? But the chef's kiss was the food.
Yeah. No, it's
we're in a good time right now.
Yeah.
We're lucky.
Yeah. Oh, 100%. You throw a dart at the map.
It's still
for a while you had. It was like south of the Driscoll Bridge never really got any love. You always had a couple like spots on the shore, and then I feel like it hasn't been until the last few years. Dave Viana of Heirloom Kitchen, St. Laurent, and he's got Lita in Aberdeen. I feel like he really like.
I've heard of Lita.
Yeah, so it's like a modern approach to Portuguese.
Ooh,
and what he did was, well, before I get into that, but he, I feel like you had hitters in Jersey going back to the 80s. Yet Ryland Inn was an institution, right? The fact that New Jersey was always kind of, I think on the national stage, this is just my opinion, New Jersey was just this place that was sandwiched in between New York and Philadelphia, right?
I feel that, yeah.
And I think the Jersey food scene and the chefs, I think, really benefited from that in a community sense. The camaraderie that the chefs in the state have, I don't know if that exists. It might be in like microcosms in other cities, like, you know, like all the chefs on the Lower East Side know each other. But like to have the whole entire state, everybody knows, everybody is one person connected. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But you have amazing restaurants from all the way north in Newton and Andre's Lakeside in Sparta. If you ever want to go,
Stupid.
He's one of the nicest men I've ever met in my life, and the talent just fucking comes out of his pores.
I love that shit.
He's
dude.
just fucking good, man, and he's humble. He's cool. Like
There's nothing better than that.
Yeah, he's just a good dude. And then, and now you go all the way south. You go, there's
Red Bank has some gems.
Red Bank has
Gems,
some,
dude.
yeah, Red Bank has some hot spots. Nettie's House of Spaghetti in Tinton Falls, they're fucking doing it.
Crazy, bro.
It's a
lot.
And then you go even further south. You go to Haddonfield, which is like a suburb of Philly. That's like blueberry. It's like the blueberry capital of the world, whatever down there.
Crazy.
You got a couple like really good Italian places down there, and there's just it's a
plethora, literally.
It's just fucking. It's a good time to be part of the New Jersey culinary
Crazy, man.
scene, dude.
Yeah, what a time to be alive, right?
Yeah,
on many
dude.
levels.
Yeah.
For good and for worse.
Yeah, you know, as at when I was at Crystal Springs, it was like one of the first people to
I got married there.
Oh, did you?
Yeah, that was one of the most beautiful times of my life. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I got married there, bro.
It was beautiful.
Right when the sun was coming down, it was crazy, bro.
It's so nice up
Silly.
there.
My dad, do you know Robbie? The guy that works there? I believe now he might be the main beverage director there.
Okay.
I'm not really sure, but my dad was in commercial laundry, so that was one of his customers before, the whole thing. And that's how we got in there. But that place is phenomenal, dude.
It was amazing.
Beautiful, sick, golf courses galore, Ballyowens, Crystal Springs.
It's magic up there.
Yeah, it's stupid. I should go to that festival one year.
No, go next year.
Yeah, I'll take my wife next year.
Yeah, get a room up there.
We always wanted to go up there and celebrate our anniversary up there.
Yeah,
It's I love it up there, man.
It was great. It was and that was like one of the things that it was like one of the things I needed to cross off my list, right? That I needed to be one of the chefs that was there.
And I'm sure you'll do it now next year again.
Yeah, and I needed to show up too.
Yeah, you couldn't just be there. You had to,
I needed to show up. Yeah, I needed to. I'm not ever gonna say names, but like, I was there last year, and it's like I'm not invited this year. It's like
I wonder why.
Be memorable.
I wonder why.
Right. So like, I made this beautiful. I think people now just expect me to always make pasta. That's just. But
it is what it is.
They're like, you gotta make pasta, and I almost feel like I've only been making pasta for like 6 years.
Yeah, which is I'll touch on that later. That's crazy.
That's
fucking bonkers,
right?
dude.
But it's like they talked to me like I was at PSE&G my whole life, and then I was just like, hey, let's make macaroni now. Like I wasn't grinding forever. Yeah. It's funny.
When you got it, you got it. You know what I mean?
Yeah. That's why when I did the event a couple weeks ago down in Spring Lake, and he asked me if I wanted to be involved, I said I would love to. Be an honor. Can I please not make pasta? He was like, do whatever you want, my guy. It's like, all right. But
I'm gonna backtrack a little bit.
Yeah.
I want to talk about when you went to the French Culinary Institute and you went to the one in New York, right?
Yes.
Because they have a couple. Don't they have a couple locations?
No. So it was in Soho, right before Canal Street, Broadway.
What was that like for you going there?
Oh, that was it. It was it.
That must have been the exposure to the levels that I was speaking of prior.
Yeah.
You must have went there and been like, wow, there's levels to this shit. Artistry.
When I was always, what's cool is sometimes I'll flip through old cookbooks, like cookbooks that my mother gave me. And like
classic joints.
Piece of paper will fall out. And it's like my handwriting from when I was like 9 years old, 10 years old.
Really?
Like, and spelling things correctly, like tomato concasse. Like, what the fuck? I don't even know how to spell it now. How did I?
I'm curious on your specific cards. Was this your inventions or you were just regurgitating what your mother was teaching?
Watching TV.
Oh, wow.
Watching.
How old were you writing these cards?
Ming Tsai, watching Julia Child, watching.
How old were you? Do you recollect?
I mean, I got my first frying pan. I think I was like 5 or 6.
Wow. So this is what I mean. Like, very rare does somebody get into it later on in life. It's in their blood. It's not impossible. It happens.
And then it was like, everybody knew I loved to cook. So
5 years old.
So
that's crazy.
Christmas time came. That's all I got. That's all I got.
Cooking stuff.
Cookbooks and utensils.
See, you were meant for it, bro. You were meant for it.
It was just like, this is what I do.
Wow, 5 years old.
Yeah. And it was 5. Yeah. So when I got to culinary school, first off, they spelled my name wrong on my jacket. So I got my jacket.
Your last name?
You know, I played football kind of in high school. And that feeling you get when before the game and you're putting your shoulder pads on. And it's just like, you feel it. It's just, it's an electricity. It's a thing, right?
Suit up.
Yeah. When I put the jacket on, I was like, this is that. This is that thing. And then I look and I spell my last name like Cosenza, like George from Seinfeld. I fucking, this fucking school's $50K. You can't spell my name right. You know?
That's fucking ridiculous.
It's like, so then I had to show up to school. I had to show up my first day. Michael Cosenza.
I'm crying.
So now I got all these ball breakers in the classroom.
You're killing me, bro.
I'm like, it's not really my last name. You know, like, how am I defending this, you know? It was fucking terrible.
That's just mad funny.
Yeah, dude. It was fucking horrible.
Shit. But that's fucked up.
When I got there.
Jerk offs.
Right? Like $50K, you can't do a spell check?
Scum buckets, yeah.
Right? Somebody had to have a good sense of humor. I feel like.
Right?
We got to look what I'm doing to his jacket. Right. But it was what I loved about when I got there was, one, I knew this was it. I made the right choice. This is what I'm supposed to do. 2, it was all my preparing myself to go, which I didn't know I was doing because I was a little kid.
Yeah, of course.
But like my knife skills were already kind of more further on than most of the kids in the class. Like I was in a comfortable spot. And then it was on top of that, it's like I found my tribe. Like I always ran with different crews when I was younger. And I think hindsight, it was because I always needed this feeling of belonging to something that was bigger than myself.
Yeah, gotcha.
As a teenager, that gets you in trouble.
Of course, of course.
And it was here that I found the people that I'm supposed to be with. Like, and some of them I still talk to this day. I graduated in 2006. And, and it was, I'm a fucking kid from Jersey. Like, we didn't travel. I went to Florida a few times, went to Seattle. But it was now, I got a kid in my class, he's from Israel. This one's from Detroit. This one's from San Diego. This one's from Seattle. This girl, she's from Taiwan. Like, it was me and another kid. He was from the Bronx. We were the only two that were local.
Oh, wow.
It was cool. Like, it was my first time meeting people from other places, and
Yeah.
really, really kind of pushed forward. Like, I made the right choice. I did. I'm doing what I'm supposed to do. My cousin, he owned a restaurant in Brooklyn and Park Slope called Tempo. So I'd work there like 2-3 days a week.
While you were attending school?
While I was at school. And so it was like, it's the best time of my life. I got an apartment with other culinary students. I'm living
in New York, you live there.
Live on Roosevelt Island. So we take the tram or the train into the city. Just being around like-minded people. Like, you get home, you're rushing home from class on a Wednesday night because Top Chef's on.
Wow.
So you walk in, it's just like the same way, like, a bunch of dudes get together to watch a game. It's like we're all rushing to get home from class or from work or whatever, so we could all, pop open some beers and then go watch Top Chef.
Top Chef's fire.
It was fucking great, And
I was watching it on Netflix the other day. I replayed the old joints.
Yeah. No,
I'm not even a chef, but I love that shit, man.
It's so that, and even that, I think that a lot of people, like, that landscape of the food industry has changed dramatically, right?
Yeah.
So, like, when we were younger, it was like the Food Network and those characters, Bobby Flay and Mario and all those other folks.
This is way better.
Emerald.
This is like next level.
So then that kind of
laid the groundwork, essentially.
Right. And then that kind of moved into competition, was like the next stage of celebrity chefdom.
Yeah.
And then, it started with Iron Chef. And then that moved that. And then now it became the chefs that everybody knows and follows are the Instagram chefs.
Yeah.
A cook named Matt and Omnivore. I forget his name.
It's
you
a
have
different
all these
world
different,
now.
Yeah. So but now you can talk to them. The people that you idolize, the people that you follow and find inspiration from, I can tell them how fucking dope that shit looks.
Yeah.
So the game is different.
Yeah, it's different. Yeah.
And I think also coming into the business, you always had this. You followed the steps that were laid before you, as far as you get a job. You work the cold station salads, then you move to the hot apps, and then you move to the line, and then you move to saucier. And you go through starting at the bottom, right? You go through the brigade system, right? It's all set up like the French military, right? But now, and I'm a perfect example of it. Like, I wish when I was in culinary school, somebody could have told me, find one thing in this game that you love and become obsessed. Whether it's cheese, pasta.
And get hyper-focused on it.
Just fucking do that fucking thing and do it as good as you can.
Yeah.
And, probably would have saved myself saved my marriage. No. But, it's just, the game is very, very different now. And you see a lot of people, like...
you got to go through the motions,
Chelsea, bless her, pie girl down in Heightstown. She was making pies out of her crib. She single-handedly made... Pies weren't cool. It's a fucking pie. Pies weren't like cool. She made pie cool again. It's great.
Yeah, it's fire.
It's just, and she's only open Fridays and Saturdays.
At her leisure, yeah, whatever she wants to do.
So I think she does like the wholesale game and private stuff during the week. Friday, Saturday, the shop opens up. The line's down the street.
That's what's great with the game now. You make your own path.
Yeah, it's just
you create the hype.
You don't have to. You don't have to do all this ABC shit. Find your thing.
Yeah.
Become obsessed. Obsession is probably the most important thing.
Speaking of that, actually, you were talking about like you were comparing the roles of the kitchen with the French Brigade and stuff like that. Yeah. I actually have questions on that because this shit reaches me as far as it can. I go to a restaurant, I eat and all that, but there's a lot of roles in a kitchen, and if you could differentiate and explain the more important roles that go on when operating a kitchen, if you will, like the title, the purpose, and the importance and differences between said roles, like let's say line cook, prep cook, runner, bar back, executive chef, sous chef, expediter, etc.
Right.
What are the more important roles, and what differentiates them from each, and what do they do? What does it entail?
I feel like the best way to do it is to make a comparison to something else that's just a little bit more understood. So I think anybody that puts a chef coat on, they call themselves a chef. It's really not the case. I think so. Chef is the captain of the ship.
Yeah.
Everybody else is a sailor.
Okay.
The captain can do every sailor's job, but he's there to make sure that all the sailors are doing their job.
To delegate and
right.
Yeah.
So you start at garde manger, which is
garde manger,
which is cold apps, salads,
antipasto,
shit
like that.
That's the guy, right? I always loved it because you have to be fast because you're usually the first one out the door, right? You're the first course, first, second, whatever it is. So you have to be quick, and you're also not dealing with the heat. Usually, you're in a little refrigerator,
which is tough to deal with.
Yeah, and then
what goes up from there?
And then from there you have the classic way, which isn't really prevalent now, but like you have the saucier, which does all the sauces. There's restaurants that still do this, still run this system. Le Bernardin, I'm sure Danielle is the same way. Saucier does the sauces does sauces for everybody.
Just straight up sauces.
Sauces. He's there in the morning making the demi.
Hours doing shit.
Yeah, making the bordelaise, making the sauce americane, making all these different things, right?
Yeah.
And then a poissonnier, which is my favorite station, which was fish.
Oh.
I always love fish because it's fast. Your margin for error is very small. And that's why I loved it.
You like the challenge?
Oh, yeah. I wanted to get my fucking ass kicked. I wanted, let those tickets back up.
Fills your balls up with pulp.
Oh, God. Feel it in your plums.
Makes them swimmers run.
Dude.
Yeah. The plums.
The
fresh,
plums.
veiny plums.
It was, and then there's like a bunch of commis chefs. They're like the helpers.
I'm just curious for the listeners and for me.
Yeah, and then, and the sous chef is like the point man. Sous chef is the guy that's making sure everybody's doing what they're doing. He's also,
cooking himself or expediting. He is the guy. He carries the weight of the kitchen. So since he's delegating multiple cooks, right?
Right.
What is the sous chef specifically cooking? Generally. Or is that situational?
No, it's more situational. Usually they're taking the hardest spot.
Okay.
So
the more important dish, they would be the one generally, more or less?
Yeah, on the meat station.
Okay.
There's not... It sucks. You got a $35 rack of lamb and, you're charging your customer $90, and then one of your schmucks overcooks it.
It's not medium rare. It's fucking dry.
Yeah, it's a very, it's
30 Shades of Gray in the middle.
That's good. But it's sous chef carries everything, and then the executive chef is making sure if the sous chef can't fix it, the executive does. Executive does menu design. Usually the sous chef is the one that's in charge of ordering, food cost, all that stuff. Executive chef oversees the whole operation. He's the one that doesn't sleep.
Wow.
He's the one that, sous chef, you sleep because at the end of the day, this is all falling on somebody else. If things go bad, it's not you. It's going to be the guy that's carrying the crown is heavy. Right. So
yeah, a lot of roles, a lot of important roles, and if one veers off track, it fucks up the whole assembly.
It's a very delicate ecosystem.
Yeah,
you know, there's no calling out. You know, right?
Yeah,
you call out. There's no backup. There's no sixth man. You know,
yeah.
Like, you call out of work now. Your team has to work harder. So it's
of course,
So it's like a guilty thing that you feel internally. Like, I know I gotta tough it out. I gotta go. You know.
Yeah.
You know, it's like even during COVID, I had COVID. And it was like I had to stay home. But as soon as everybody left at 6 o'clock, I went to work.
I get it. Yeah.
I worked through the night doing what I got to do.
Because you had to make sure everything was in order.
Right, yeah.
Otherwise, it would fuck the whole system up.
Yeah. You know, that was a weird time for everybody.
Oh yeah, for everybody.
Strange, dude.
You know, you survived it the whole nine, so that's God bless.
I think we were lucky with that. Not everybody, but a lot of restaurants that were all pivoting to a model that we were already doing. We didn't have seats. We had seats, but I saved them for private dining. I had just like a really big 8x4 butcher block table. People come in, they wanted to eat their sandwich there. They stand around. I didn't want stools. That was right out of the gate when we opened. I didn't want an espresso machine. I didn't want fucking chairs. And my partner's like, why? I was like, I don't want like Frankie and JoJo sitting here for 3.5 hours, fucking
makes sense.
Reading the Italian Tribune.
Yeah.
Fucking,
reading the orgy.
Drinking espressos, I didn't want that, So when we opened, we did private dining at night. So we would do our thing during the day, and then people would rent the room out. And I would do, we fit like 12 people around the table, and make it beautiful, candles everywhere.
Yeah.
Design a menu for them and this and that. And then when COVID hit, everybody was kind of pivoting to what we were doing, but we were already in that spot.
Yeah.
And then my partner, Mike, he's super, he's always been very big on giving and charity and stuff like that. He always did a ton of work out of Passionate and then Pig and Prince in Montclair. Ton of work with
that's great, man.
The Salvation Army and all this stuff. So like charity kind of runs in his bones. And for me, he was my rabbit. Like people that I always looked up to. I'm the fox. They're the rabbit, and I have to chase him. He's doing something great. I need to know more, and I would fucking. So like, I always have like 4 rabbits. Like right now, I got like 4 or 5 rabbits.
Inspiration, guidance,
yeah, right? Exactly, and they're all friends. So
it's even better,
right? Yeah. So when COVID hit, we just kind of like, let's start donating. We didn't know what our fate was, but it was like, let's throw ourselves, if we have to, let us fall on our own sword. I'm not going to wait for the state or somebody else to tell me that I can't open. Because if that happens, I'm still going to open.
Yeah.
If I have shit to sell, I'm fucking selling it. Like nobody knew what was happening,
Yeah, it was
Yeah, so it was a weird time. So we started donating to nurses in the hospitals. And then the one thing that I learned throughout it all was everybody wants to help people. Nobody wants to help people, right? Everybody wants to fucking do the right thing. I'm convinced. No, everybody's like, for the most part, inherently good.
Yeah.
But nobody wants to like.
They don't have the couillons.
They don't want to fucking go out and do it,
Yeah.
So once people knew that we were doing donations to hospitals and first responders,
started a movement.
The donations started coming in, and it was like we wake up and the Venmo account would be fucking stacked. Like, all right, guess we're just making. And we were running out of places to send sandwiches, dude.
That's great, man.
It was and then all the news trucks pulled up. They were like interviewing us.
Yeah, of course. Good exposure as well as spreading the good word.
Fuck, what's terrible about it? So I've never had a camera really in my face. I was never a chef to go into the dining room. You never saw me.
Uh-huh.
I was never, hey, how was your meal? Hope you enjoyed everything.
You want to play the background.
I'm in the back with my pirates. You know what I mean? Like I'm on my ship.
Throwing the regot stuff.
That's it. You know? So now I'm like, when I open this shop, now I'm front and center. I'm like a fucking...
You had to develop
When we first opened, where you were standing, when you came in today, like I made pasta in that corner. As soon as you walked in the door, I'm in the fucking front. Like a hibachi guy, you know? Like it's terrible. Like
Live
for
and
me,
direct,
it was such a learning curve to be around people. Like, you know, I think like socially working in restaurants kind of hindered me because if we couldn't talk about food, I didn't know what to talk to you about.
Yeah, you mentioned that earlier, that you're not a people person.
Yeah.
And that's weird because I consider you, at least from the outside looking in, to be an outgoing, friendly guy.
I'm big on energy. I'm big on...
Also, maybe you're just comfortable with me.
Comfortable,
maybe.
Yeah. I'm not... I walk in a room, I feel everything.
Yeah.
If there's a fucking...
That makes sense.
There's a shady character in the room, I know he's there. I know
you
where
can read him.
I know where he is at all times. You know?
You got to do that, bro. Back against the wall.
That's how my fucking brain operates, you know?
Yeah.
But
when I go in a restaurant, I have to sit
I gotta
against the wall.
I gotta face the door.
Yes.
I gotta see
I'm
who's
the
coming
same
in.
way, bro.
I gotta see who's coming in.
I'm the same way.
Yeah, bro. It's fucking terrible.
I like it. I
go out to you, my son. He's like, I'm like, what the fuck? Get out of my seat.
You sit over there.
You know where I'm sitting.
Yeah, fact. Yeah.
But so the camera crew, they came, and I still like, if I ever meet this fucking news anchor guy, like I got a lot of fucking choice words for him. Like I've never been. I'm sleep deprived. I fucking mask on my face all the time. I'm working my ass off. Marriage is in fucking pieces. Like everything is fucking falling apart.
You're at rock bottom.
Right? But the shop's keeping me alive, right?
Yeah,
like, you know, what I'm doing there, it's giving me purpose. It's giving me, you know. They aired this fucking clip of me, dude. I'm standing at, my partner's like 6'2". At the time, he's probably like 280. Fucking just stacking all the fucking COVID weight on, right? And I'm fucking next to him. And I got my arms crossed. I look fucking pissed and miserable.
You don't want to be on camera.
And I do. I look like the world's smallest bodyguard. Just fucking. And I'm like, why didn't this guy say cut? And be like, look, this is what we're doing. Smile a little bit. You know, this is a feel-good story. Like, just kind of take me out of it.
Nah, he didn't give a fuck.
Bit, nothing. And now it's like, you know, the Facebook memories and shit. So like once a year, this fucking video of me pops up again.
You fucking hate it.
Oh, God.
Mask on your mug.
Just
looking like a Karen.
Right. It's terrible.
N95 in your mouth.
Mask around my neck.
Oh, man. What a time, huh?
Oh, it was something, bro.
Oh, man.
I have a good one.
I have one more question regarding the school before we exit that. When you attended the French Culinary Institute, what, in your opinion, was the most important, valuable tools that you took from that experience that, you know, you carried on for the remainder of your career as a chef? Because when you go to a school, you learn a lot of stuff, right? But it's kind of like going to high school, right? You have to take history, you got to take this, but half that shit is hogwash.
Right.
There's a select few things that really matter.
Yeah.
So just out of curiosity, what are the few things that you took with you forever from that experience?
None of it had to do with cooking.
Really?
None of it. Camaraderie. Counting on people that are with you, developing relationships with like-minded individuals. That was the most important thing, hands down.
It makes sense to me.
Put me in a room with people that I would have never been in with.
Yeah.
I would have never been in a room if we didn't have this mutual love for something. You know, that you can't. I know a lot of great cooks, and they'll never be a chef because a chef's a leader. People, you gotta follow you into the fire. You know, I gotta be ready to go to war for you, and in more ways than one. You know, it's not a chef that I cared about that I worked for that would call me up and told me that they were in a jam that I wouldn't show up. However, they needed me, whatever version of Mike they needed to show up.
Of course, yeah.
I'm there, you know? So if you don't have that leadership quality, you're just going to be, which is fine, but you're never going to be that.
Yeah, yeah.
You're never, if people don't want to follow you, you don't know how to talk to people. You don't know how to get the best out of people. And, you know, and then being a business owner now, you learn that you can't treat everybody the same.
Nope. Nope.
You know, I treat everybody equally. I don't at all. I know who I can push. I know who I can put my foot in their ass and I can get the best out of them. I know who I have to put the kid gloves on. Come on, let's go outside and have a talk. You know.
You know their strengths.
I know. Yeah, you gotta. You know, if I, you know, I get on one guy too much, I know he's gonna shut down. You know. So I think with culinary school, the best thing that I learned was people.
Which is an important thing to learn.
Yeah, you know, I pick that school in particular because all they do is teach how to cook. Like you go to CIA, you go to a lot of other schools. You got to take.
What's CIA?
Culinary Institute of America, New Hyde Park.
Okay.
Which is
I'm thinking federal, like the fuck.
So you go to all these other schools. You have courses on food cost and all that.
Really?
Yeah.
So they have all that shit in all these schools, huh?
Well, yeah. I mean, CIA, you get an associate's degree, you get a bachelor's. So you have to take all the other classes too.
Yeah.
To get it. This school, what I liked was it was just hard.
Strictly cooking.
We're learning how to cook. A couple wine classes here and there. Whatever. It's like I'll figure out the other stuff. I was always good with numbers, kind of crunching them. Boom, boom, boom. You know, had a interesting teenage life that made me good at that. So that stuff, I'll figure that out. Let me just work on cooking, and that was probably the most important thing.
Oh, that's dope.
Yeah.
After school, you obviously hit the ground running. You started working for many different restaurants and establishments across the board. At some point, you became executive chef at, I can't pronounce this fucking name correctly.
All right, go for it.
What? Matakadanka?
That's good. That's good.
What's the fucking name of this goddamn club?
So you pulled that profile off of the bio.
You know how I gotta do what I gotta do. Yeah. You know what I mean? Matakadanka.
It would have been too many.
The golf club in Jackson, New Jersey.
Matita
New Jersey.
Matita Conch National.
Matita Conch.
National Golf
I like that
Club.
name. Matita Conch.
Matita Conch. It was. That wasn't my first. I didn't want to correct him. It was already in.
Matita Conch.
It's my first executive position was.
You had restaurants before this place, but the important part about this place is you were executive chef, correct?
But my first executive spot was Terraza Nutley.
Ah, so this was not your first,
right? But it was just the hoops I would have had to jump through to get the bio changed on the website. I'm like, whatever.
Okay. So you learn something every day, baby. Matita Conch.
So I was
working.
Say that
for years.
I was working with Francesco Palmieri at Orange Squirrel in Bloomfield. My son was just born, and so this was 2010. And then
Orange Squirrel.
What
was the main?
New American. He was. He was one of the sous chefs at Windows of the World. 9/11.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So he's got some interesting stories.
I'm sure.
That. Really, Franco's one of the most interesting people.
Yeah.
He's like a mad scientist. He's just a very original kind of guy. Marches to his own drum proudly. He's a cool cat. So I was working for him. I left there. the owners of Terraza came in to Orange Squirrel to eat. And then they asked about me, like through the grapevine.
Oh.
So then they fucking scooped me from there. And I went over there. Hindsight, I shouldn't have went. But, you know, it was my first executive spot. So take it over. So I left Orange Squirrel and went to Terraza, and it was chaos, dude. It was chaos right out of the gate, you know. A lot of shady shit, a lot of...
Yeah,
you know, guys sitting at the bar every Tuesday waiting for the envelopes.
the envelope days.
Yeah, it was just...
I'm very familiar with the envelope.
It was just too much, and a lot of politics of it, and who you needed to keep happy, and...
And that's the issue when you incorporate that type of stuff in the establishment. It takes away from the...
I just want to cook.
I know, but
I just want to cook good food.
you're looking at manila envelopes.
But now I'm, you know...
You're an accomplice now.
I'm finishing every night with like 3 Long Island iced teas. And just everything is chaos.
Getting juiced up.
Yeah, yeah. So
it's fucking
it was
shot.
a very interesting experience, to say the least, for my first go.
So after you graduated, between the institute and your current place of residence, which is the Mike and Pasta Sandwich Shop, which we're going to touch on very soon.
Yeah.
What other places did you work at in between? Because I remember fondly Pig and Prince in Montclair. I always thought you were the owner.
So my partner at Mike's Pasta Sandwich Shop.
He was the owner. So you were just the chef there?
I was the... So I worked at Fromagerie in Rumson.
Okay.
With David Burke.
All right.
Orange Squirrel for Francesco Palmieri. Trey Piani in Princeton for Jim Weaver, which was like... He was the early slow food movement. He was like... He spearheaded that. He was really on the... He was one of the originators of the New Jersey, like, farm to table. He was the guy. So I was there. I worked in the city. I was a catering chef, an event chef for Mary Giuliani, which was cool. So Mary Giuliani, caterer, she does all, like, a lot of celebrities, and you know, she was like the in-house caterer for Chrissy's Auction House.
Oh, okay.
And then we did like store releases and
that's dope.
Like Christmas parties for Hugo Boss and
that's dope.
Stella McCartney and
that's
all
dope.
This. Yeah, did Jesse Eisenberg's birthday. Like just
sick.
really cool shit. And then I got to meet people, and
of course,
you know, but that was a fucking dark time in my life. I was in it, bro. So mental health was in fucking pieces.
Yeah.
So I did that, and then I was at Matita Conch National Golf Club. I moved back down to Central Jersey where my mother was to help raise my son. So I got a job down there. That was
You dabbled. You did a little bit of everything.
Yeah, I just kind of... I always looked at... There's a lot of chefs that can make like a beautiful dish of food, right? You know, like... Can you cook for 600 people?
Yeah, it's a different type
the game
of thing.
changes, right? So like you're good at doing a la carte service. You're good at doing this, but like, can you do that?
So
and
was that Matita Conch?
Matita Conch. I ran a hotel by the airport where I was doing, 1,000-person banquets and stuff like that. So really, I hated it. It was the worst job I ever had.
Yeah, because it's more of like an assembly line type of thing as opposed to like care, nurturing the dish.
Yeah, 1, 2, 3 plates, we call it.
Yeah.
Right? Protein, starch, veg. We call it plate and skate.
Fat, but it's got to also taste good.
Right. So, my experience is pretty well rounded. You know, I did the fast casual thing, and I did the banquets. I ran the country club, so doing the outings and all the buffets, and
well rounded, like you said.
Yeah, but like back to like, I'm not much of a people person. Like you run a country club. The members need to know you. They want you outside. You got to shake hands. You need to have them in your pocket. They all sit on the boards. They determine your budget. They determine, I had meetings that these guys, and these are all millionaires. They'd sit and talk about, they bitch and moan because I changed the brand of the hot dogs. Like, this is what you guys are concerning yourself with. It was like I wasn't
the nitpick,
right? I wasn't made for the country club life.
Yeah,
Maybe when I'm older, but it's just not. I don't like playing the cards, playing those silly games.
I feel you. Pig and Prince was an interesting place. I've been there twice. So the first time was my friend Corey. Shout out Corey Donahue of Panther Printing Co. If you ever need shirts, I'll link you.
You got a guy.
I'll link you.
I need a guy.
He's a beast. I'll link you heavy. Embroidery too.
Okay.
So it was his birthday or something. And he had it there. But if I remember correctly, Pig and Prince, really cool location. There was the bar side and there was like the dining side.
Yes.
So he had his like birthday party in the bar side.
Right.
So I went there that night, just drank, got litty. And then one night for Father's Day, I took my dad there with my wife. We didn't even have my kid yet. And I'm probably going to have to edit this out.
That's all right.
But there's certain moments in your life when you remember certain things.
Right.
And first of all, this is how small the world is. A kid I went to high school with, Justin Morvan, who you know very well.
Yes.
Does he still work with you at Mike's?
No. He's been gone for about 2 years.
All right. Well, he used to work there.
Yeah.
And we had a girl was serving us that day.
Okay.
She had the worst fucking goddamn BO
I already know.
I ever smelt in my life. Me and my wife looked at each other. Listen, I hope she doesn't listen to this. I'm not going to say names. I don't know her name.
I know.
But I said, bro, you smell this fucking broad's armpits. It smell like a Bermuda onion triangle. I was like, holy shit. Nice girl.
Yeah. No, yeah. I mean,
bro, what did she fucking... She stayed away from aluminum, huh?
She was
doing natural.
I feel like the natural.
She was rubbing her tits with cedar.
Natural's not for everyone. It's not for everybody.
I like this girl. She's nice, but bro, I'm trying to eat my dish and I'm smelling fucking Bermuda onions.
May through September, you need aluminum.
Bro, it's like a sweet onion chicken teriyaki sub.
It's terrible. It was
on rosemary.
I already know. It was
all right. Good.
Yeah.
So I can't wait to tell my wife.
Yeah. So when I ended up, it's funny how I ended up at Pig and Prince. So
love that place.
So I was running a hotel. Miserable. It was a union kitchen, which is the worst thing.
Yeah. Union anything is the worst.
They just, if you don't show a pattern of dysfunction, you can't fire anybody.
Yeah.
So I changed somebody's schedule. They tell me to go fuck myself. I'm like, okay, I'll see you Tuesday. Like I can't do it. Like you can't,
Yeah.
Your hands are tied. So I ended up, I was sitting, it was like a Sunday afternoon wedding. And I'm sitting at a table with other couples and my wife. And kid says, he wants to go into business. He's a fast talker, right? Irish kid. Kid could fucking talk. So it was cool, He wanted to open a business. I was like, there's a spot like really close to my house that's been vacant. Why don't we go check it out? So we go check it out. Long story short, I go into business with this guy, and immediately I start seeing the writing on the wall that this is not who I need to be in business with. They don't have that. It doesn't take talent to hustle and be on time, right? So I don't care if you don't know how to do nothing. Like we're doing the full build out ourselves, right? My dad taught me construction. I know my way around. I can build stuff, It's fine if you don't. I'll take care of that. But show up, We have to. I quit my job. I just had my daughter. My daughter was just born. Quit my job. I need, this place needs to open so I can make money.
Yeah, of course.
And we had a couple fights, and I was just like, you know what? Get my name off the LLC, get my name off everything.
Good for you.
You guys, it's on you. They opened and closed within like 6 months.
It's a quick turnaround.
Yeah. So, but now it's like right before Christmas. I have no job. I come up with a catering menu for Christmas. I put it on doorsteps of all my neighbors.
Oh yeah.
So I did that. Then I sent an email out to a bunch of different restaurants that were, kind of close to my area. And I just said, I know you're in your busy season right now. If you need somebody that you don't have to micromanage, just come in and sling pots and pans. I just need to buy Christmas gifts. Fuck my bills. I gotta give my kids a Christmas, That's all that was on my mind. And so I sent emails out to all these people. And Mike Carino from Pig and Prince was the only one that responded.
Really?
So I went to talk to him. He was, he was in a certain position in his life. And I think it was immediate. He was hiring me for 6 months, get through the season, and then we'll figure it out, whatever. I ended up staying there for 2 years.
Nice place.
Yeah. And
really was.
So he knew the backstory as I had this business that I got away from. That place is the Mike's now. Because when it went under, he was like,
the place you were originally.
He was
wow.
he's like, so what's going on? I was like, they closed. And then I would always break his balls, like, let's, get me a restaurant. Just give me my own stage, dude. We clicked immediately.
Michael Carino's his name, right?
Yeah. He's super accomplished. Yeah, I always looked at him. He's like my big brother. He's on like the upper echelon of New Jersey chefs. He's, super talented, amazing guy. Bigger. Only thing that's better than his talent is his heart.
Yeah, pretty well accomplished. I read about him.
Yeah. He's, you read that Old Testament of a bio that he put on
What is that one incorrect too?
That's so big.
Who do I got to shoot now?
Bro, I was like, why are you writing so much?
Oh, so he wrote it.
Oh, his?
Dude, I said, Minky, you got fucking Cosenza, got a little touch.
Yeah.
And this guy's got a fucking King James version.
I know.
I said, man,
I was like,
this
dude,
guy's trying to
I was
outweigh
like,
my boy, bro.
I get it. You're accomplished. Who's reading it? God bless him.
No,
I love him.
I still love you, Korea.
Yeah,
I never met
yeah.
you, but God bless.
Yeah.
God bless with your novel.
So he, so I'd always like ask him. My dad's thing, he always said to me, it was like the squeaky wheel gets the oil. Nobody will ever know what you want unless you're fucking getting. You're telling people, you got to put it out there, And so I would always like just break his ball every time I saw him, at least once a day. Give me a restaurant. And then one day he came in, he's like, is that place still empty by your house? I was like, yeah. And he knew that space because he grew up in Nutley.
Oh.
It was Bill Tone's. It was a candy store before that. Its history goes back to like 1910.
It does feel like a candy store, like the outside.
Yeah. It goes back all the way back to 1910.
Wow, history, yeah.
Yeah. So he knew the space. And one day he came in, he was like, you want to get your space back? Yeah. So at that time, I had just started making pasta. I dabbled in the past. Like I was a chef. So I've made pasta for a special here and there, but I never really got deep into understanding how it's so complex. But it's
what
so
was
simple.
it that got you into making pasta, though?
Saving money. Oh. So I'll use short ribs, for instance, right? You braise a short rib, you take it out and let it cool. Now you portion it, you cut it so it looks beautiful on the plate. What are you doing with all your scraps? So I take the scraps, put it inside of a pasta.
Oh, wow.
Throw them in the freezer, whatever.
Like a ravioli or
right,
something?
Yeah, something.
Wow.
And then now I got a $28 special I could roll next week. All I did was take the scraps.
Oh, so that's how you got started.
It was a way for me to try to keep.
Pasta.
Yeah, it was a way for me to keep the food cost down.
Wow.
Just turning nothing. I have shit left from wherever. I could put it inside a macaroni and call it a day. So that's where it started. And then it was. I appreciated the fact that it was the complete opposite of like a restaurant kitchen. Okay, so like restaurant kitchens, they can be loud. They're aggressive.
This is a total change of pace for you.
Noises. There's just shit going on. It's controlled chaos most of the time. Most kitchens. And this was the opposite of that. This was quiet.
It was calming to you.
Very calming. It was
Liberating almost.
intimate. It was very therapeutic. It was like how, and then all I'm doing is messing with eggs and flour.
Yeah.
But it's eggs and flour at 9 a.m. isn't the same as eggs and flour at 5, 6 in the afternoon at night. So it was learning all that, like, the humidity and temperature changes, and all this stuff that's playing in a role into how, and I've never been like a science guy, never tried to
It's important though
things.
in your field.
And now it was like the first time where I got that bite. It was like, so then I started making pasta. I'd go in early before anybody got there, before all the ovens got turned on to keep the temperature down, So I'm not fucking making pasta in a 120 degree kitchen.
In the room, yeah. Wow.
So I would do that. And then I was always good with my hands. I was always, like, this is the same thing. Just,
You like almost accidentally fell into something that you never thought you'd fall in love with.
Yeah. And then I just kept going. And then, so we had signed the lease for this place and we were paying the rent.
What year was this?
This was 2018.
Wow, it's been a good amount of time.
2018.
And that was when my cousin Jesselyn told me about you. So I remember this one day, like I said before in this podcast, that there's very few people that I trust their opinion when it comes to food. And my cousin Jesselyn is one of them. And I guess you had just opened at this time. What year was this again? Did you open Mike's Pasta and Sandwich
We
Shop?
opened September 2019.
Okay, so it probably was around that time. I had just had my son because he was born April Fool's Day in 2019.
Okay.
So I forget when she brought it, but that's when I made that video.
Yeah.
If you remember.
Yeah.
She gave me these raviolis that we brought up earlier, and I had never heard of such a thing. Usually when I had raviolis growing up, they either had meat in the middle or cheese.
Right.
These had mortadella, which is one of my favorite deli meats of all time. Italian bologna, essentially, with foie gras.
Yeah.
And I was fucking blown away. I made these things. She recommended I took a balsamic glaze, throw it on top after. I was
butter.
I was blown back. And I couldn't fucking believe it.
Yeah.
From then, that's when I became a fan of yours, and I just followed your journey and just watched your story, sort of blossom. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I've been a fan ever since.
Appreciate that.
Mike's Pasta and Sandwich Shop.
Yeah.
You and Mike Carino, right?
Yeah. We've been doing, we're doing good.
It's a beautiful story. I didn't know all that stuff was involved.
So, but when we had no intentions on ever working there. We're gonna, call it fucking Carlos fucking deli or some shit,
yeah.
Just something to bring in some capital for us to maybe finance another project or whatever it is.
Yeah.
And then when the writing was on the wall that Pig and Prince was going to close, and I was...
Yeah, what happened? Why did that close?
I think...
That was a big piece of real estate, bro.
It was an animal.
It was beautiful inside, but big.
It's a big nut to cover every month.
I'm sure the rent was astronomical,
rent
dude.
was like $12,000 a month. But I mean, the restaurant was open for 8 years, right? Which is an 8-year run is a good run. It's not
good.
a bad run. But the redevelopment of all of Lackawanna Station was on the horizon. So when Pig and Prince opened, that whole block, all of Lackawanna Station was full vacancy. You had a supermarket, a fucking pizza place, Dunkin' Donuts.
Hollywood Video was closed by then, right?
Part of Pig and Prince was Hollywood Video.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
That's right.
So what was good about Pig and Prince then was there's no parking in Montclair. So it was like the only restaurant that had
a big parking lot
with parking. So, but it was full vacancy. It was on the sketchier side of Montclair, but it had life, because all the stores were open. So there's always the people that were going to the other stores may not necessarily be the same clientele that was coming to Pig and Prince.
Yeah.
But it had life, right?
Yeah, it did.
And then towards the end, the only things that were left was those Popeyes and a pizza place that was owned by Chinese guys that sold Jamaican beef patties. And none of it made sense to me. Yeah.
Oh, that's that part of Montclair.
Yeah.
You know, by New Street.
Was it called Roberto's or something? So
it's a weird spot, bro.
yeah. So that's all that was left there. And then when that happens, there was always, incidences in the parking lot. People, some dude got hit with a brick one night, like during
bad
service
area,
outside.
bro.
Yeah.
You're down by New Street, bro.
Yeah.
New Street's hood over there, bro.
Yeah. So it's a little tough over there. And but they've been wanting to redevelop that part for so long.
Yeah, correct.
But there's a lot of red tape with it because a lot of it's historic. The guy that designed Lackawanna train station, I think he was like 26 years old. He died on the Titanic. He never even got to see it built.
Yeah.
So there's so much history to it. So when you want to redevelop stuff, all the historical nerds kind of come out of the woodwork. Like, you can't touch that. You can't. So there's so much red tape, so much. But with everything that seemed to be going on with Lackawanna Station, Pig and Prince never seemed like it was part of the future of it.
Yeah.
And I think he saw the writing, like, I'll just hang it up then,
Made an intelligent decision to
let's move to the next chapter kind of thing.
And that's when Mike's and Pasta and Sandwich Shop was born.
So he came to me and was like, why don't we do a fresh pasta shop? Okay.
And this aligned with you just discovering your newfound
he
love
asked
for
me that
creating
because I was making pasta, and he saw, and there was always new pasta on the menu, and I was doing pasta dinners at Pig and Prince. Like, people would buy tickets and stuff like that. That's one thing about him. He
entertains ideas.
He's always been willing to share his stage with other people.
That's important, man.
He is one of the
shout out to Mike, man.
Yeah, one of the most unselfish people that, I would not be anywhere where I am now if it wasn't for him.
That's beautiful. Shout out Mike Carino, man.
Yeah, that's big bro right there.
That's important. Is willing to. You said it. Willing to share your stage. You know? That's not being selfish is the main component.
There's a lot of. I mean, chefs are.
They want the limelight.
They're egotistical by nature, right?
They want the proverbial blowjob,
right?
You know what I mean?
And it's
sug your cock.
That's you have to have an ego
to an extent
to do this. Like, you have to think you're fucking good. Otherwise, you're never gonna be.
You can't let it like overflow.
Right.
To an extent.
Right. So you get
balance.
Right.
It's all about that balance.
In my head, I love everybody. Yeah, I get along with most of my friends are all chefs and this and that. But in my head, like, I feel like I always looked at it as like rappers. Right?
Yeah.
Other rapper is never going to say another rapper is better than them.
Of course.
And that's how I always looked at chefs. It's like, I still feel like I'm great. I'm great at this, but I'm humble. I don't like the word humble, but like my ego doesn't go through the door before I do,
Yeah, I got you.
And I don't rip people apart for food, The only times like I'm judgmental about what I'm eating is if I go to a place that's trying. They're pushing, right? If you're pushing and you're really doing what you can to like make cutting edge food and you're using amazing ingredients or whatever, I'm going to be a lot more critical. But like, I'm good. Give me a fucking good proper egg sandwich. I'm happy.
Yeah, you're Gucci. Yeah.
Yeah. Like I'm not like snooty about it.
Yeah.
I'm
That's
not,
important for sure.
Yeah. So we opened this up. he was like, why don't we do pasta? I was like, okay. And all I know, like I never got to travel really, so all I know is like what I see online or whatever. So I went down the rabbit holes of like looking all the fresh, pasta shops in Italy and Argentina, and
which are very closely knit. People don't realize.
Yeah,
a lot of Italians live in Argentina and vice versa.
Argentina is got the most Italians outside of Italy.
They speak Italian, vice versa.
What is it? I think it's the 25th or the 26th of every month. They eat gnocchi as for good luck. There's.
I love gnocchi.
Yeah, it's so far.
I can't eat it all the time, but I like it. It's heavy.
It doesn't move.
Yeah, it's heavy.
Yeah. But so I did my own research and this and that, and then we were just kind of figuring it out when we opened. And
Crazy.
Then when we opened, we were riding a good wave coming out of Montclair. Historically, people never came to Nutley to get food. The restaurants were never great.
Yeah, you had good pizzerias. Stuff like that.
Yeah, pizza.
Local spots.
Yeah, pizza places. You have nail salons, and you got fucking ShopRite.
Belmont Tavern, right? Is that Nutley?
No, that's
Belleville?
No, like Newark, Belleville, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So, it was, we were riding a good wave coming out of Montclair. So we had people coming from Montclair, Glen Ridge to see what Mike Carino was doing, So that helped us right out of the gate.
Yeah.
And then we got invited to go cook at the James Beard House in the city.
Oh, the James Beard Foundation.
Yeah. So I got invited to go cook
That's
there.
a pretty big deal.
It's the chef equivalent of like swinging a baseball bat in Yankee Stadium.
So it was you and Mike Carino, or just you?
No, so me, Carino.
You're right about him taking you along.
Yeah.
He's a good guy.
Yeah, he and even that, I was the featured chef. He was,
that's sick.
He put me in that position.
Good guy, yeah.
And so I called my best friend Alex. He's the chef now at Strickland Steakhouse in Woodbridge. So I called him. I called my buddy Bill, which is the chef at Kinjo, Jamie Knott's restaurant in Newark.
Oh, I actually, because of you, I read about it. It's intriguing.
Yeah, very. I love what they did. The place is dope. I feel like there's a time and place for restaurants that are like dark, like the ambient lighting is very dark.
I love that, to be personal.
Yeah, there it's not. There everything is bright. The bright colors of the wallpaper. The Japanese fucking dragon that's hanging from the ceiling.
It's intriguing. I gotta say,
it's a cool
that place. Grinds my gears, what I mean? In a good way.
Yeah, he's doing really good stuff, and so Bill at Kinjo, he started with Mike Carino too. He started as a busboy. His father was a chef.
So he's very uplifting, this Mike Carino.
I told him a long time ago, I'm like, your legacy is not going to be what you personally did.
Wow.
Your legacy is going to be the amount of people that you put forward.
Put on.
And they're all,
guided.
Everybody's a hitter, Everybody that stayed with him and listened to him and followed him, they're all murderers now.
Wow, so his curation is top notch.
Yes. He's definitely one of the most influential chefs.
I should get Mike on here one day.
Oh, he's
Mike
good.
Carino.
He's good, man. He's a good dude. And so I called Will. I called my buddy Alex, and then, so us four, we went to the James Beard House. Mike Carino's got a really close relationship with Maynard from Tool.
Really?
There's like,
get the fuck out! Dude, I'm a big Maynard guy.
Yeah, they're like great friends. They're
really?
Yeah. So Maynard sent all his wine from his vineyard.
Dude, Maynard's the goat, bro.
Yeah, dude. I don't. So I got to pair all my pastas
with all of Maynard's
wines. It was.
I don't know how Maynard could delegate all that he does,
because there's a lot.
Dude, not only the band, the touring, and I don't know how he does that, man.
Yeah.
Wow, that's crazy.
The vineyard, and then he's got
What a small world, man.
One or two restaurants.
What a fucking small world.
I think they met. I think he was like a hired chef to go like cook at like one of the boxes at one of the stadiums in the middle.
Crazy, right?
And that's how they met and they clicked. And
Dude, Tool is the fucking dude.
Yeah.
Some of the most powerful music I've ever heard in my entire life was created by Maynard.
And it's like fucking little me. I get a picture. It's Maynard in the recording studio wearing a Mike's Pasta Shop hoodie. And I fucking lose my mind.
That's great.
Yeah.
You got to show me that later.
Yeah, of course.
Dude, man. He never comes to Jersey, though, Maynard, right? Never.
He was here, I think, pretty recently because Mike met up with him. Because Mike came, he grabbed a bunch of pasta. They went to go hang out with him for a little bit. But yeah.
Bonkers, dude.
Yeah. So I'm like, this is dope.
Dude, Tool. I never forget watching his videos with the claymation. Be like, what the fuck is this, dude?
Interesting dude.
Dude.
Jiu-jitsu black belt.
Yeah. I mean, I listen to him on Rogan, so
he's great.
that's how I hear about all his new endeavors and stuff.
And he's got an Italian restaurant like on his property.
Dude, you could watch his old live footage of him performing his like original songs like on stage. It's like nothing you've ever seen in your life. The emotion that just comes out of that dude's pores.
And it's timeless.
Stupid.
Doesn't matter.
Stupid.
It doesn't matter when it was recorded. Like
stupid.
It's just
You know, I'm really interested in the science of pasta making. Since you kind of briefly touched on it before, I'd like if you could just touch it a little more. You know what I mean? Give it another stroke, if you will.
a little stroke.
Give it another stroke.
So
I really, you know, the weather. You know what's funny? It's funny how you mentioned the weather, right? Because the weather really has a lot to do with many things.
Yeah.
Even espresso making.
Yeah.
With the grinds and how it compacts and how the water travels through
elevation is a big one.
Elevation,
with
espresso.
Yeah.
So how did you figure out that, and how does that dictate how you make pasta today?
So we make, first it was like understanding history of pasta, right? So to the north of Italy, economically was always better than the south, right? So the north, most of the pasta always has eggs in it. And then when you go to the south, it doesn't. It's usually made with water.
Really?
So the northern Italian pasta is usually, it's a soft wheat. 00 is the grind. And it's usually made with a soft wheat flour that grows to the north and eggs. Whereas you go to the south, it's made with durum, semolina wheat, which is a harder grain.
Okay. And just water.
And water. Yeah. Sometimes they add olive oil, they add salt.
But the percentage, I guess, varies.
But yeah, so, you know, food always, no matter where you are in the world, food always is always dictated by economics, right? So, and pasta is no different. You know, so the North had money, so they could afford to put eggs in their pasta, whereas the South doesn't.
Precisely, yeah.
You know, so all the pasta that we do in the shop, we do extruded pasta, and that's all semolina and water. So that all comes off of machines. And then all the hand roll, anything that's stuffed.
Which you were doing today.
Is all made by hand. So we supply like 25 restaurants across
25, that's a good amount, man.
Across North, and all hitters too.
So you're grinding.
Yeah. And you know,
are you allowed to mention any of them, or do they want to kind of keep it under wraps? I get it.
Yeah.
Trust me, you don't have to say.
So I have some restaurants put our name on the menu, like pasta made fresh by.
And then others they don't want to. That's it.
Other ones like
I get it.
I went and ate at, and they were like, describe. I'm like, can you tell me about the orecchetti?
It's like Ghost Riders.
And they were like, oh yeah, we make the orecchetti.
Orecchetti.
I'm like, you do you? No shit.
It's like Ghost Riding for rappers, bro.
It's the same
shit.
Yeah.
Wow, dropping gems tonight.
So we got
bro.
like eight restaurants in Montclair, all hitters. So if you look at the hitters,
Enjoy Mia, any of them?
Yeah. Yeah, that's
Bro,
my
I had
people.
a dish there that blew
Shouts-
my wig back. I'm telling you that right now.
Shouts to Logan and Mary of Joy and Me.
Bro, I had a dish there that blew my fucking wig back. I had
one?
the squid ink. The
squid ink mafalda.
Oh, bro, with the shrimps.
Yeah.
Bro, that shit made me shoot pulp from here to fucking. Me and my wife love that shit.
He's the chef there, young cat.
What I like about that place is that how it incorporates, because he's Hispanic, right?
Yeah.
I like how it incorporates that Hispanic fusion within those like Italian forward dishes.
And it's all very Italian, but you get these little fucking little nuances.
The flavor,
right?
That's the key. Hispanic culture, the flavor jams, like especially Peruvian. You get smacked, dude.
Absolutely.
I love that.
They're they started. I think Mary was the GM. Mary was the GM at Fascino.
They both worked there, right?
And Logan was in the kitchen. And then
and what happened? The owner of Fascino went to go.
So he was moving on. I think it was he had a 20-year run, dude. Like,
yeah, he was chilling. He just wanted to simplify his life. Is what I don't
know if it was simplifying his life. It was more. Look, there hasn't been a restaurant that sat on top as long as Fascino did.
Oh, solid place, dude.
Fucking,
I went there with my wife.
Yeah, they built something so fucking special there that is part of the fabric of Montclair.
No liquor license, though.
No liquor license.
I don't know why that matters to me, but it does. I love cocktails, dude. And when I go to a place and I can't, I'll hold off.
Yeah. No, I get it. And it's hard to make money.
It's hard.
It's hard to own a restaurant without a liquor license, dude.
You know what's my favorite restaurant right now?
What's that?
I'm not gonna fucking front on you.
Yeah.
Verana, bro, in Norwood.
Haven't been.
Bro, why don't we go together?
We can do that.
The chef there, I forget his name, forgive me. He used to be one of the chefs at Del Posto.
Okay.
Bro, this shit is silly.
Oh, let's go.
Bro,
Let's go.
Cocktails, my guy is one of the main waiters there. I just text him, he puts me on. We should go together.
Verana?
Bro, it's stupid.
Okay. I could see the sign now.
Bro, it's fucking stupid.
Yeah.
From the cocktails to the dishes. He even on Tuesday nights now, so Del Posto used to do a lasagna, a 50-layer lasagna, and he offers it there now only on Tuesday nights.
No shit.
Bro, they got a pounded veal parm there
Right.
that they run out of every night. It's stupid.
On the bone.
It's fucking stupid.
Good.
Bro, this place is like legit.
We gotta go. Where's your favorite pizza place? If you had to pick one pizza place in New Jersey, what is it?
I don't know, man, because like to me, pizza's so specific. Siciliano with the square, thin.
Yeah.
The pizza you brought by tonight's one of my favorites. Amore by Jack Calant.
Yeah. Nobody's ever said his name like that. Calant.
Yeah, I like that place a lot.
Yeah.
Ralph's kind of fell off, but
it's not.
Ralph's is good.
What it was.
I love Angeloni's in Caldwell.
Yes.
Solid, dude. They have this dish there, this appetizer. It's these long hots with the sausage. Yeah. And they throw how when Portuguese people do instead of doing fries, they do chips.
The fucking chips, yeah.
So this is like Portuguese chips
with
long hots and sausage and this like brown cream spicy long hot sauce.
Yeah.
It's fucking stupid.
Yeah.
So I usually get that with it's their pie. They do something called the zingara. You ever had it?
No.
So they do their pizza there in general. They do something called a thinny thin.
Right.
Very thin.
Yeah,
Portnoy gave him an 8-8. Something silly.
Okay.
But the zingara is like finely chopped. Like I'm talking like this. Their pizza's already paper thin.
Right.
Finely chopped. Peppers, sausage, meatball. Bro, it's stupid. It's stupid. I love them. I love it's tough. I like a lot. Yeah. I love Kinchley's and Ramsey.
The only reason why I brought it up because you brought up Garwood. Nola's.
Oh, I heard that place is great. I never had it.
I think Nola's is my favorite.
I still want to try Delucia's. Haven't had Delucia's yet. Okay. I like a lot of different pies, bro. I love Bruno's Siciliano, square pie in Clifton. Yeah. Bruno's has a good fucking pie there.
What was it? Roses and Garfield, that's a good square.
Oh yeah, dude. Even Lodi Pizza over there is good.
Lodi's
solid. Dude, don't forget about Terminal in Verona.
Do you ever
don't sleep on them?
So where I lived before I moved up here, and I didn't realize it until like I'm older, but like the old school Trenton pizza pies, bro.
Oh, like the old tomatoes and shit.
Yeah,
bro. You know, I did a podcast with Vincent Iannelli, right, from Philly.
No.
You ever hear of Iannelli's Bakery?
Yeah.
I did a podcast with Vincent Iannelli.
Oh shit,
dude, his tomato pie is stupid.
There's Di Lorenzo's.
That's another place I haven't had to try yet.
I grew up, so it was in Trenton, Chambersburg, which was always it was an Italian neighborhood. Doesn't exist anymore, but these were the ones that started. They and then they moved out. They moved to Robbinsville, and now he's got another spot.
I heard it's crazy, bro.
Yardley, Pennsylvania.
I heard it's stupid, bro.
It's a fucking cool cat. He's a good dude.
Amore, though, the one you brought tonight, that's probably one of the best in the area.
It's not, it's what I compare it to. Ralph's Pizza. It's just different. It's not, and that's the Giuseppe. It's the same. It's
Giuseppe's so good.
It's just a different kind of pizza.
It's great.
I'm a New York Jersey slice guy.
Yeah.
I want fucking no flop.
Yeah.
But I do,
Dude, you got to have Terminal in Verona.
Oh, I grew
their
up with
square is
that,
stupid.
I grew up with the Rafferty's.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
Dude, their square is insane.
Yeah.
Insane, their square. They're solid, bro. That's one of the best pizzas in the area, in my opinion.
Yeah, no,
for sure. And
good.
Angeloni's, like I said, I'm a big fan of Angeloni's because of how thin it is.
Yeah.
I love Kinchley's and Ramsey. That's another good thinny pie. Dude, they have a Fra Diavola sauce. That's fucking...
My guy Ralph Ramirez. No, Ruiz. I said the wrong Spanish last name. He owns Emilio's Pizza.
I heard, dude, Jesselyn talks about that place like crazy. It looks crazy.
And he was an electrician.
I gotta go this week.
Yeah, he was an electrician that fucking liked making pizza, and then got laid off during COVID.
Things happen for a reason, bro.
Started fucking slinging them out of his yard. And
really?
Now he's arguably the best Napoli Don pizza in New Jersey and beyond.
Looks crazy.
He's fucking, and he's always, sometimes I'm like, bro, chill. It's good. It's good. Like, you can stop now.
You gotta relax.
But he's always.
You can't. The gears keep grinding.
His gears don't stop, He's super, super talented. And he's young too.
That's another climate thing, like certain percentage of water and like that whole science with that.
He gets into it with me, and I'm
it's
like,
too much.
I don't know what you're talking about.
I know, it's too much, bro.
He's like, well, it's a 27% hydration. I'm like,
the hydration,
what
bro.
are you talking about?
That's what
yeah.
I try to listen, but I'm like, all right, a little too much. If I start getting into this, I'm going to make it myself.
Yeah, he's like, oh, you know what kind of start I got? I'm like, I have no idea. No clue what you're doing.
Oh my God, man. So you're co-owner with Mike.
Yes.
With this, how do you delegate each other's roles? So obviously you're the pasta guy.
Right. So Mike runs, he's the executive chef at Essex County Country Club.
Oh, so he's got his hands tied.
He's kind of, I got questions, he's got answers. I think the most important role for him, not necessarily for me, is for him to make sure I don't make any of the mistakes that he made in the past.
Gotcha.
And that's a role that he takes on himself. I'm not like asking him to,
So he's not really at this place that much.
No.
You're running the show.
Yeah,
He's almost, I don't want to say an investor because I don't want to diminish his role in Mike's and Pasta Sandwich Shop, but essentially he's got his hands tied elsewhere.
Yeah.
He trusts you with it.
Yeah.
So he's almost an investor in a sense.
Right. We opened the place together and, he was there. And then it was just like, he's gonna go run a kitchen, and I'll just hold on to this. And he's like the guy. He's always there. Always leaves his mark with us. And
yeah.
he's still the guy. He'll he'll always be the guy, you know.
Yeah.
Even if he's not around. But he's like sometimes he'll make something cool and he'll bring it down to us, so I can put it on a special or something like that. Like he'll go foraging for ramps.
Yeah.
And he'll bring them in. And
Interesting guy, I gotta say, for sure.
He's
I read about him a little bit today because I
Yeah.
knew I was meeting up with you. So.
yeah, he's it was just like, and it was from the moment we met. I think he's a big, anybody that like I worked with that was like worked for him or whatever, they all had this like fear of him. He's a big dude and he's like intimidating and this and that. And I think I was the only one that never was.
Yeah.
And you know, and I think maybe that's why like we clicked immediately. It was just like,
Yeah,
you know,
most likely.
we just have like a thing, you know. Yeah. After the James Beard house, driving back, I was just chugging fucking Maynard's wines at the end. I'm like celebrating.
Fucking Maynard's the best, bro.
And just
Drinking that wine, chugging.
He's driving. I got his car door open. I'm throwing up. He's holding my body, like just holding my arms.
Brotherly love, baby.
Yeah, that's my guy. That's my guy.
You gotta be there for you. You gotta be each other's like Jay-Z once said, nobody will fall, but everyone will be each other's crutches.
That's it. That's
it, baby. You gotta be there to be each other's crutch.
We do. We have there's never been a chef that I work for that like I didn't get into an argument with.
Of course. Especially male figures, you know what I mean?
Yeah, testosterone or this or
It
that.
happens. It happens. You gotta let it out.
Yeah, there's a couple dumb gorillas banging on their chest, you know?
Yeah. Pulps flowing heavy.
Right. I've never once had an argument with him. I've never once had anything.
Crazy, yeah.
And this is, I worked for him and then now he's my partner.
Now with him, yeah.
So now this September will be 5 years. So now we're going on 7 years.
Fire.
Of just fucking kicking ass and
That's sick, dude.
and just, you know, just looking out for each other. That's
sick.
Yeah, that's my dude.
I have some more questions regarding pasta because I'm a curious guy.
Yeah, let's go.
You know, I'm interested in learning. I
Yeah,
like
right.
getting educations on this podcast.
Yeah.
So obviously there's many different styles of pasta.
Yeah.
Many.
Right.
There's probably some that get invented every day.
Yes.
Do you use different ingredients for each variation, or is it generally the same ingredients, just the construction of the shapes is what varies?
So, I mean, you could do different variations of egg dough. All different ways. You can do an all.
Like you were saying before, right?
You can do an
where it's
all
more water, more yolk.
You could do all yolk, right? You could do one that's all yolk. So that's going to give you a drier, richer texture, right? I do one dough straight through for all my hand roll
For all
stuff.
shapes, everything.
I'm producing too much.
Makes sense.
It's that whole mantra, KISS, keep it simple, stupid.
So let me ask you, if you add more yolk or more egg,
Right.
what does it do to the pasta? And I'm not even concerned about pre-cooking. I'm talking about when you're cooking. If you're cooking the more water-heavy pasta or the more yolk-heavy pasta, if you cook them both at the same temperature, same time, what is the difference that's going to lie? Consistency with the two of them.
So a semolina water dough is going to be more, if it's the hydration is usually always a lot lower. So it's going to take a longer cooking time and it's going to be a lot more harder on the chew, right? That's why when you
Like
eat
a more al dente?
cavatelli, right? Cavatelli's got that chew to it, right? Whereas egg dough is a lot more delicate, cooks a lot faster.
Okay.
And your shapes are different. So
the shapes do kind of dictate what your mix would be?
100%.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
So like orecchiette, that comes from the Bari Vecchia and Puglia, right?
Barese.
That's where my family's from.
Oh, okay.
That's always semolina and water. There's never any egg in it.
What about a bow tie?
Bow tie is a farfalle. Farfalle comes from the north. That comes from Bologna. So that's a egg dough pasta.
Oh.
So
You're making this all make sense to me right now.
So farfalle is just another variation of other pastas that come from the Emilia-Romagna region, right? So your main long pastas from that region, they're all egg doughs, are pappardelle, right? So ragu di bolognese and tagliatelle, which is a thinner long pasta.
Yep.
And then you go into the shorts, the tortellini, tortellone.
What about that like the Carbone likes to use the shell fucking rigatoni, like the fucking snail looking.
Oh, lumache.
Yeah.
Lumache comes from the south.
So is that more egg based or
no, lumache is usually semolina.
no
right?
fucking shit?
Yeah.
Penne, what about like a penne? What's that like?
Penne is like American.
So it's just like a mix of both, probably. Like you get a little bit of extra.
You get it I mean,
linguine.
the shapes that are popular here aren't, from what I know, aren't as prominent over there. Over there is a lot more regional.
Yeah, of course.
So whereas here we just kind of eat. Rigatoni is king here. Rigatoni is king.
Which I'm not a big fan of, to be honest. But.
Me either. My favorite shape is still spaghetti.
Oh yeah,
Still. It's just love it.
Oh, so it depends on. So it does depend on the shape and the style of how the ratio between egg and water would be.
And then when you think about sauces and all that stuff, that determines also like.
What about gnocchi? What's like a gnocchi? Is that predominantly more egg?
No, so gnocchi is potato. I don't add any egg to my gnocchi when I do it.
None, zilch.
I do potato, flour, and salt.
What about the malfatti? Like I was telling you that I love with the squid ink.
Oh, that's mafalda.
Mafalda, I'm sorry.
Mafalda and mafaldine. So that's from Campania, I think. So that's named after. Most shapes have like a cool story. So Mafalda is named after Princess Mafalda.
Okay.
I always thought it was her hair, right? Because it's that crimpy.
It reminds me of like an octopus tentacle.
Yeah.
That dish.
Right. So she was a princess. She was royalty. She married a German guy. Nazi Germany started. They were all on board with the whole Nazi thing until the whole Jew thing started. And then they were like, no, hold up. Right. So then she became an enemy and they tricked her. They set her up. So she ended up being a hostage. They were holding her in a weapons depot that was near a concentration camp. And Allied forces came, bombed the shit out of it. They bombed the building she was in. She got injured. She died like a week later.
Really?
And they named a pasta after her. So.
What a deep fucking history and a pasta that I actually love. That I never would have thought.
Yeah.
Would have been the case.
I always thought it was her hair, but it was actually the lace neckline of all the dresses that she wore.
Oh, that makes perfect sense.
Yeah.
Yeah, it reminds me of like an octopus tentacle.
Yeah.
When it's so good. That dish at Gioia Mia.
It's like a conveyor belt for all the sauce.
Dude, that dish there, like me and my wife got it there. We were like,
Yeah.
we got it to go one time.
It doesn't hold.
No, you have to have it there.
Yeah.
And with the shrimps,
That's the other
beautiful.
thing too. With fresh pasta, like what we do, it doesn't translate well with to-go containers.
No.
It just keeps sucking everything in.
You're right.
So like dried pasta has its purpose. Dried pasta works better for stuff like that.
Dude, it was so good there. The squid ink, black, beautiful. The plates they used with that Spanish influence.
They got
it's a good place. Good place.
They got a taco truck coming now.
Really?
Yeah. She went and picked it up a couple weeks ago.
Maybe I could use them. You know, I do my summer party here and I use a food truck.
Lulu's taco truck.
Maybe I could use them. Because I use the mozzarella god all the time.
Yeah.
But I want to switch it up.
That's balls, bro.
That's my guy, bro.
That's balls. That's balls. All the names.
That's my guy, bro.
My man said God.
That's my guy,
Good
bro.
for him, dog.
Bro, it's pretty good, man.
I'm sure.
That's my boy Mike, bro.
That's what's up.
Another
Shouts to
Mike.
Mike.
Fuck.
There's fucking Mikes everywhere.
He's Dominican too, bro. Dominicana. Making fresh mutts.
Making fresh mutts. Good for him.
Bro, his prices are good. He's here live and direct.
Hell
but I
yeah.
want to switch it up. I really want to do tacos, so that kind of intrigues me.
Yeah.
I was thinking of my boy Gus at Cubita.
Vita.
Yeah, I was thinking.
Yeah.
Oh no, we'll see what happens. He might throw fucking eggs in my head.
He might.
He's a sick fuck, that guy.
Yeah, he's a lot.
Yeah, he's a little sick.
He's a lot. He lives around the corner from me.
God bless him, bro.
We became friends when I was building out the shop. When I was building it out, he was walking past with his dog. Shouts to his dog, Kevin.
Yeah, Jesselyn is another one that she introduced me to.
Yeah.
I had his egg and cheese before he had Cubita.
Yeah.
The Taylor ham, egg and cheese and
you had-
banana. I was
you
like,
had
yo,
the
this is
garage-
crazy.
You had the garage special.
Yo, that shit was bananas. She brought it here and I made the video too for that. I was like,
Yeah.
yo, this shit crazy, bro.
He's
Shout out Gus with his fucking beard, bro.
He's doing good. Yeah, he's
I haven't been there in a while though.
He saw I had a Marco Pierre white shirt on, and he saw my tattoo. He's like, "You a chef?" I was like, "Yeah." And I have a pig tattoo, and he had a pig tattoo. We just became friends. Two fucking cornballs.
Yours is right there with the sectioned off fucking cuts.
The last day of Pig and Prince, they had we had a party.
They had good meat there. Pause.
Resume.
Yeah, aged, beautiful.
He was the
He
man.
did it right there. Yeah.
Shouts to there's a guy. I can't remember his last name. God forgive me. His name is Lou. Older Italian man. He taught Mike Carino how to
age.
how to make prosciutto, how to make copa, how to make super salad.
I could eat prosciutto di Parma all day.
Yeah,
bro.
he passed away 2 years ago.
God bless him, Lou. God bless you, Lou.
His whole garage, his basement, was just
Lined with meat. Pause.
presumed.
This guy was a meat curator.
And he had all these fans going like to circulate the air. Circulate the air. He called them the winds of Tuscany. They were just like oscillating fans. It's just
Bro, Italians are special creatures, bro.
Yeah, when you meet somebody that
Tradition
he was
through
an
and through.
older man, and the first time I met him, we sat outside of Pig and Prince for like an hour and a half. And I just listened to him talk.
Oh, gemstones.
Just
dropping gems.
Yeah, him. There's another guy that's Marcelli Formaggi. Oh, the
Sick.
the cheese first family of Abruzzo.
I can go for cheese right now.
yeah.
Bro. I'm hungry.
Bob Marcelli. He was a chef. Now he owns a company. It's a family farm collective out of Abruzzo, and Bob Marcelli. He's just one of those guys you would just sit and talk to, just tell stories. I mean, he just had a fucking interesting life, and just talk to you about food, Woodstock, whatever. Like he's
there's nothing better than hearing stories, right?
fucking guy. Like, and then, but they're just like, you can hear stories from anybody, but just there's just certain people that you
They resonate with you more than anything.
can't get up.
Yeah.
They got you stuck, and you just you're like in this fucking zone with them
I live for that shit,
on that
bro.
fucking journey. Yeah,
I live for that shit all day. Out of curiosity, I know you can't really probably answer this, but how many different variations of pasta are there in general? There's probably a lot. And I'm sure they're inventing new ones every day. Different shapes, styles.
yeah. Well, I
etc.
mean, pasta today is having a moment. I mean, you see it everywhere. You
Yeah.
know? It's like during COVID.
Especially homemade.
How everybody was on their sourdough bread kicks and shit,
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
Pasta's having a movement right now, and pasta extruders for restaurants are flying. Everybody's making their own pasta now. It's such a vast, and I think that's what kind of grips me about it, because it's so, at its core, at its bones, it's simple, it's peasant, it's it's taking,
It's got history though.
it's
man.
taking, the most humble ingredients on earth and turning them into something magical. And it's just, I couldn't even begin to have an idea as to how many. I mean, I think for me, I could probably do, I'm probably around like 80, 90 shapes I could do with my hands.
Jesus Christ. With no machines.
No machines, just,
Wow.
you know, I taught myself how to roll pasta out with a rolling pin.
Wow.
Just so I knew how to do it. It's not practical for me to do.
Yeah, not efficient. Yeah.
It's not, but I wanted to be able to know how to.
That's important.
How to do it. You know, and there's really some regional shapes that are hard for me to do that I want to be better at.
Like what? Which ones?
Cologiones. They're from Sardinia.
I gotta check those out later.
Looks like a braid up the side. It's like a big dumpling. They're usually filled with potato, saffron, and pecorino.
Oh,
and a little mint.
Those probably taste stupid.
Yeah.
Oh, you got to do that for your shop.
Yeah. They're so
mint.
that one I just keep. That
Keep
was
at
like
it.
I just keep trying, and I'm just not there. Like
You're not
for
ready to release it until you know it clicks.
right? But for the most part, I could watch a video, watch somebody make something, and I'm like, I can do this. It's just once you get the grip of it, and then you understand the way the water flows, like how to, you only seal up certain parts of the pasta. How you're taking 2 layers, right? So like you look at a ravioli, the top of the ravioli is 1 layer of pasta, but where the pasta touches each other, it's 2. But you have to make sure that you're pressing that. You need to make 2 to become 1. Otherwise, when you're eating pasta, like you eat a ravioli, how the outsides are harder than the other parts. You want to do everything you can to where the pasta's texture is uniform throughout.
Ooh.
So it's like the little intricacies of it that you.
No, but all that stuff matters.
Yeah,
especially
100%.
when that bite is in your mouth,
right?
And it's coursing through your teeth, through your tongue, your taste buds.
Yeah.
You taste that uniformity subconsciously without even realizing it.
It's cool. It's a really I never saw this coming. You know, I never never thought that this was going to be the path I was going to be on. This is going to be my journey, but it's
the best things happen that way though, unexpectedly.
Yeah.
All throughout life.
I just, I stay open and try to be better than I was the day before, in every way, not just with work, but just being just a human being. Try to be more, and it's just this has been a really good conduit for me to do other things and branch out to do other projects with other people and doing pop-ups. Like they bring fucking pasta mic, whatever, and it's cool. It's a really cool spot to be in.
Yeah,
like I said,
bless, man.
There's nobody else. There's a lot. There was Lorraine Pasta down in South Jersey.
I don't know of any spots up here like yours.
There's Esso Pasta in Morristown.
Never heard.
Shouts to AJ.
I know of the pasta shop.
Yeah.
I know them.
Yeah.
Because my boy Corey does their gear.
Right.
That's it.
And then there's another one that opened down the shore. I'm not going to mention the name because I don't really care for them that much.
God bless.
Gang,
fuck them.
bitch. Yeah.
Fuck them.
That's it.
I don't like South Jersey anyway. Yeah. The more further south you get, the more jerk offs you get. You know what I mean? I'm a North Jersey cat.
So I just it's a very small amount of people that are doing it, but it's growing. It's growing here in Jersey.
Yeah, for sure.
New restaurant just opened up. New restaurant alert. Aura in Oradell.
Okay.
ORA. It's like
all homemade pasta.
Pasta. The bar is dope.
Yes, it's sick.
Dope.
Aura.
They spent I don't know how many the last 2.5 years building.
I'll check it out.
Full build out. I think when it's at full capacity, which it's not yet, because they got like back patios and balconies and just shit that's not open yet. I think at full capacity, they're close to like 300 seats.
It's a lot of people, man.
So I went there. I went there, got their machines up. They got a pasta machine. I showed them a couple shapes, blah, blah, blah. You know, so that's a cool other thing that this job has given me, you know, where another restaurant hires me to come in and help teach their staff.
Also, they hire you to come teach
them how to make pasta. Yeah, how to, you know, work on their ratios, blah, blah, blah. What to look out for.
No shit.
Don't turn that air conditioner on if you're running this shape because it's going to dry out too fast. Like, it's just...
Really?
Yeah,
but those are complete gemstones.
The only way you find out is, like, experience. Like, so, but if you don't have... Time is never on anybody's side.
So that's another flow of income for you.
Yeah.
Oh, that's sick, dude.
It's cool.
Good for you,
I do
man.
that. I do pasta classes at the shop. Those are fun.
That's sick, bro.
Yeah.
I should do one for shits and giggles. My wife would like that.
It's great.
My mom used to make her pasta homemade.
Well, that's not... You're Italian or what?
So I'm Italian. Here's what's crazy.
Right.
I'm half Italian, half Puerto Rican.
Okay.
Literally split down the middle.
Right.
My father's Italian, mother's Puerto Rican, but not only did my mother speak better Italian than my father, she made better Italian food than anybody in my Italian family.
Where did she grow up?
Puerto Rico and Calle.
Oh, shit.
Yeah. I mean, she moved here when she was... I'm really bad with timelines. I want to say 7 or 8. So she was born in Puerto Rico.
Right.
But she just had a high appreciation for the finer things in life, and she always appreciated cooking, stuff like that.
Awesome.
So she married an Italian man, learned his culture, did it iller than anybody in his fucking family.
That's awesome.
Crushed it.
That's awesome.
She was a big baker. That was like her main thing.
Awesome.
She baked the craziest cakes. Straight gems. And she used to make her own pasta, her own fucking lasagna.
There's a really good pasta shop in Puerto Rico.
Really?
Yeah. I think it's called Masa.
Where is it? In Old San Juan or Rincon?
No. Is it in San Sebastian?
Interesting. Gotta check it out.
They're doing really cool shit.
But yeah, my mom, when she was alive, she crushed it, man.
But they're very... a lot of the stuff that they're doing is, Italian. They're doing a lot of fusing those Puerto Rican flavors with pasta.
So I love Puerto Rican food.
Yeah,
I'm half Puerto Rican, so
me too, bro. Me too. I love it.
Yeah, a lot of Spaniard culture mixed in with Puerto Rican culture too. With when when they came and conquered, did all that whole
dark times.
Yeah. But the whole nine.
Yeah,
I was gonna bring up something to you, but. Now that I've talked to you the whole night, you've kind of answered most of my questions. I was going to say that it was weird to me that, there's different variations of pasta, basically using the same ingredients, but they taste different when you eat them.
Yeah.
But since you were talking to me how some are more egg-based, and that kind of like threw all that out the window.
Right.
But I always found it interesting that like I could eat a bow tie with the same ingredients as like a penne, and it totally tastes like two different dishes. Yeah. And I found that to be very interesting.
And then the more you get into it, the more you learn how to develop texture on your pasta sheets as you're making pasta. Like a ravioli, just use that for an example. Like it doesn't have any pockets. It doesn't have anything that holds sauce, right? It's smooth on all sides.
Yep.
So the only way to really make pasta stick to it is to create texture on the surface. So you learn how to play with the forced air that's in the room.
Oh my God, that's so crazy.
Like you roll it out and you let it sit for a second, let it start to develop a crust on it, and then you roll it again. So then now you have
bonkers.
So you're creating texture, and it's just there's just so many different.
There has to be more of an appreciation for these type of things. Like I wish there was a way that you can convey these messages to the public easier so they understand what they're buying.
Right.
Like, I wish everything came with a video that you bought. Like, listen, there's levels to this shit.
Yeah.
And this is why it tastes like this.
Yeah, there's a lot. And it's, there's another guy
It's a thankless craft, I think.
Oh, yeah.
It's a thankless craft.
But they're very appreciative of it when they come and do a pasta class and they're kneading.
They can see firsthand,
They're like, Jesus.
That makes sense.
They're like, this is a lot of work. Like,
It's a lot of fucking work, bro.
I'm like, you're doing a 2-egg dough. We do 30 egg doughs at a clip. Like,
I saw you today. I came through. You was grinding.
That's it.
You were moving.
Tuesdays is my day.
You were moving.
So we supply a ton of restaurants, and all the orders start coming in like Sunday and Monday.
Yeah.
So then by Tuesday morning, I have an idea. I have some that are like kind of standing orders. I know what they're getting. But for the most part, we put together a production schedule and we portion everything out to the chef specs.
Yeah.
We do everything to make their life easier.
That's even better.
So so it's like we sell pasta, we sell peace of mind too. You know, we do everything to make their lives easier. You know, labor's a hard thing to come by. Good hands is
Very
not.
hard.
So like if I just sold them pasta, I just put it in a big box and gave it to them, then somebody on that end has to go through it. They have to portion it. They have to do all that. They don't have to do nothing. You take the pot. We sell it all in little
One-stop shop.
It's in a little sandwich bag. You get an order for it. Like, rip the bag open, drop it in the water, go. Just I think, you know, I would love the business to just keep growing and become more and more. The one thing that my main concern with growth is losing that personal relationship.
Yeah.
You know, I have a lot of restaurants that they bring me filling. They drop filling off for pasta. I fill them, portion them, send it back to them.
Crazy.
For me, it's great. Like,
well, it makes your job easier.
oh yeah, like if they want a lobster raviolis, you know, if they want lobster.
I love lobster ravioli, bro.
I don't.
Make my dick hard.
I don't have to, you know, get lobsters in, break them down, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah, of course.
There's a lot of shit to it. And which will then drive my price up. So now I just charge them an assembly price. Boom, boom. And I go.
You got many avenues throughout this one place now.
Yeah. And we do tons of catering out of there.
It's fucking bonkers, man.
Yeah. It's a cool thing we got. I always, when I opened up, that my main play was, it was something. It was like I saw a stat. It was like 80% of all millionaires have at least 7 sources of income coming in. So I was like, okay, let me get this place to have money coming from as many different directions. This way, I don't have to rely on one thing.
Yeah,
like I don't have to rely on foot traffic to come into the store. I'm not just solely relying on wholesale pasta to keep everything going.
Yeah.
Just try to pull money from as many different avenues as I can without losing our identity. Everything that I'm doing is it's all in our wheelhouse.
Uh-huh.
You know, I'm not doing something that doesn't make sense. Like everything is part of the Mike's brand. You know? And when
could you ever see yourself like being carried in local supermarkets, like a Uncle Giuseppe's?
Yeah. No, I think
is that the goal?
That's the goal. The goal is warehouse.
For that to happen, you would need a warehouse.
Warehouse. Well, when you get to that level,
you got to pump out.
It's that, but there's other pieces to it. So, whereas, like you came in, you saw us. We're in the room. We're making pasta. But we're doing what we're doing. A big box won't touch us because we're not. A big box is only going to come knocking when everybody in there has hairnets on. Everybody, you know, it becomes like this sterile environment because, you know, that's just the world. So like big carriers, like even vendors, you know, you see the Baldor trucks, Ace Co, whatever, they wouldn't touch us until we get out of this mom and pop stage.
That's weird. I mean, I understand it.
Right.
But it's like, what do you, like, so you have to force yourself to transition?
It has to be, you have to have it can't be mom and pop. It has to be an operation.
Has to be an assembly line, yeah.
Yes. Yeah. Bigger machines, everything on wheels, the whole It's a different game.
Is
And
that one of your goals?
I would love to. Yeah.
Really brand out, really expand.
We don't.
You want to walk into a fucking shop right locally.
Yeah.
Let me get a Mike's Pasta and
Yeah.
that M is pretty iconic. I gotta say.
Yeah. No, that's the M has been crucial. Shouts to Drew O'Brien.
No, it is.
We make cool
I pay
shit.
attention to branding. I'm a big fan of branding.
Yeah.
Text, typeface, the whole nine. And the M is pretty iconic.
When he
And I don't say that loosely, trust
Yeah.
me.
it's so important.
I don't
Branding
say that
is so
loosely.
important.
And I like it.
Yeah. And Drew came, showed us, flipped his computer open. That was the first design he showed me. I said, "Don't show me anymore.
It's simple.
Don't show me no more.
It's effective.
I love it.
It's
I
great.
don't want to see anything else."
That's all you need.
It's a
Look at like Rassiope's Tadals. Those are my favorite Tadal. First of all, I had yours today. They were great.
yeah,
I wouldn't lie.
yeah,
They were great. My favorite is personally Rassiope's.
right.
I love the red pepper ones. Fuck me in the mouth sideways, dude.
We have those too.
Love those joints.
Yeah,
But their logo, it's
forgettable.
It's even more of like a but you still know it.
right,
You still recognize it. The
Yeah.
M is way more powerful.
right. There's certain
Simple,
things.
though.
Yeah,
That's the best.
But that's what branding should be.
It's all about simplistic,
Yeah.
beautiful
Right.
shit.
Branding should be you see it somewhere else in a different.
You know.
You know where it is. You
You're
know where
gone.
it's from.
You're good.
Right. That's
I love
what's
that, man.
important.
Love that
Yeah,
shit.
Yeah.
I got a question for you. What are some of the chefs that inspire you the most? And they have since the beginning of your career up until present day.
You want names? People that
They don't have to be from here. They could be from Brazil for all I care. What are your personal favorite people that you aspire to be? Not even aspire to be, just that you draw inspiration from.
when I first started really getting into it, it was El Bulli was on like the tail end
El Bulli.
in Spain. They were on the tail end, so Ferran and Albert Adria, and what they did, they were the major innovators of cuisine as we know it. I mean, they threw the biggest wrench in the wheel as to what food is, with changing textures and making you question what you have in front of you. They were the ones. I mean, I grew up. I'm a product of the early stages of the Food Network. So like I loved watching Mario Batali.
Yeah, solid.
He's
Little controversy, but
I mean,
solid.
put
Solid.
all that bullshit. If you don't take any of that shit in question, it was
solid
just what he
dude.
did. What he
Unicorn.
did. Yeah, he's him. Eric Rupert from Le Bernardin. His gentleness was something that was inspiring. How he doesn't yell. That he gets the best out of the people that work for him by uplifting them.
That's important, yeah.
Marco Pierre White, the originator, the OG. He's the youngest chef to ever get 3 Michelin stars.
Wow. That's a good accomplishment.
Yeah, he's the guy that Gordon Ramsay trained under. He was like early on somebody that I love. He looked like a rock star. The long fucking crazy hair, the cigarette hanging out of his mouth. Like he was the guy. What else?
You know what my bucket list restaurant is?
Yeah.
Alinea by Grant Achatz.
Achatz,
right? That's how you pronounce it?
Yeah.
He's my number one, I need to make it there.
Yeah.
That's my goat.
He's another one.
That's my
He
goat,
was
man.
able to. He did something. He did something that was never done here in America.
That's my goat, bro.
He's a special one, and you can see it.
His story
Everything.
with the cancer, the tongue. Dude, I watched that episode of Chef's Table when it came out, and
the way his taste buds all came back.
I almost couldn't breathe.
Yes.
Like that's how affected I was by his story.
His senses of taste all started to come back in stages.
Dude, with the helium, with the candy helium balloons, and that's that's the shit that
he's
I need to fuck with that.
He's
one day
special guy. And then just I think of historically in America, who was really instrumental in pushing American cuisine forward. Alice Waters, what she did in California and Berkeley, it was super important. The people that I always admired the most weren't the chefs, though. People that I always admire are the people that just do the thing that they do. Like the little Mexican lady that makes the best tortillas. That kind of shit.
The best. That's the best shit.
I went to New Orleans, and
the flavors out there must be bananas, dude.
Yeah.
Stupid.
New Orleans is my favorite city. So me and my brother, we leave the city. We had to go do some things, but we're in the middle of shit down there, right? And there's a storefront that says crawfish bread. I'm like, what the hell is crawfish bread? I've never heard of it. So let's go check this out. And my brother loves food too. So we go in. It's 80-year-old black woman behind the counter. She looks at me like I'm the first white guy to walk in there in fucking ages. And she's standoffish a little bit at first. And then I just told her who I was, what I was doing down there, and I told her I was a chef. As soon as I told her I was a chef, and it's like the key that opens every
common knowledge,
fucking door,
Yeah.
As soon as I told her I was a chef, her face lit up, blah, blah, blah. So it was it's basically like a baguette that was filled with, it was crawfish that was definitely mixed with cream cheese, cheddar cheese, scallions, Cajun spice.
Fuck?
So it's this paste, this cheesy crawfish mix that gets smushed in the bread, wrapped up, and then baked. So it just fucking all melts together. It was
Must
crazy.
be stupid.
But it's I look at this late and I bring that up because it's people like that I admire. Because it's
innovative.
How long was she doing this thing?
Centuries.
How many has she been making?
Centuries.
How many has she made?
Yeah, for
it's
real.
that kind of stuff that I always admire. The old people, the older folks that have found something and they did it their entire lives.
I love that, man.
And they do it and they'll talk to you about it like it's the first time they're saying the story, even though it's the millionth time. Rodrigo Duarte, the Portuguese guy down deck. He's
sick.
He was the first person to actually legally be allowed to take Iberican pigs from Portugal and bring them here.
Really?
So he's got a farm in North Jersey, and then
I think I know who you're talking about.
He raises the black-footed pigs here in Jersey and Sussex
Didn't
County.
you take a tour inside of his spot?
Yes.
Oh, I saw that.
But
all the dried meats hanging and shit.
You would. We're in Newark. This little nondescript, nothing flashy about the outside.
Bananas.
You would never guess that there's $7 million of fucking cured pork happening.
Bro,
inside.
when I saw the documentation, Gus went with you, right?
Yeah.
Bro, that shit was silly.
Yeah.
I didn't know what to do with myself when I saw that video.
What was cool was he, the whole place, he designed it. So you walk into each room, he has all these different curing rooms. Each room is made to mimic the temperature of that season in
Get the
Portugal.
fuck out of here,
So
bro.
you go into one room, that room mimics winter in Portugal.
Come on, son.
Then you leave that room and you go to spring in Portugal. And it's just
There's a science to this, bro. This is like beauty.
But he
Tradition.
talks to you like you're the first person. You're the first person he's telling the story to. He's so excited. It's like he's
it's his child.
bursting at the fucking seams, like he's been stuck on the International Space Station for the last 2 years, and he hasn't seen a fucking human.
I can relate, bro.
And
Trust.
he just needs to fucking dump all this information.
I can relate, bro.
It's just,
Trust.
It's so fucking cool.
It's that you're tapping into that nerd part of him.
Yeah.
You know, and I can appreciate it, bro.
Yeah.
I have plenty of things that you could tap into. So I can relate. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I love that shit, man. That stuff's, it's magical. It's not,
Yeah.
you know, it's like you're getting an education, you're getting a history, a culture.
It's a special community.
Yeah, I remember seeing that, the documentation that you and Gus had when you went over there. I was like, damn, I want to be in there tasting and meat. Pause.
And then when we resumed, and then so he bought a house right up the street.
Who?
Okay. So Rodrigo Duarte, he's got a storefront. Then up the street
You bought a house?
is a house, but he bought the house because the house had the original bread ovens from the early 1900s, right? So it's like the entire wall.
This guy's silly, bro.
The entire wall is like cast iron, right? With these little doors. He can cook like 40, 50 pigs at a clip in his garage. This is now his garage. So he brings us in there. The whole ceiling is hanging chorizo and everything else, right?
Stupid. Silly.
And he's just pouring wine. And we're just eating meat. And me and Jamie Knott are sitting there. We're dying.
Oh, Jamie, not from the Saddle River Inn, right?
Yeah, so we're just sitting there because we're like, fucking, what I would do for a glass of water right now, you know, just
All that salt.
just fucking salt and red wine. He's just killing us.
You're dehydrated. You're like
Just
thinner.
killing us,
Stephen
bro.
King's thinner.
Oh God, I'm sticking to the seat. I'm just it's
You're fucking
terrible.
disintegrating, yeah.
But yeah, and then after we left, everybody was sitting there like, yo, how do I sign up? I'm like, you don't. He just says, come over.
If you know, you know.
Yeah,
That's
there's
it, baby.
Yeah,
That's beautiful, man.
yeah, this is a really cool experience.
Let me ask you, what's your
What's up?
favorite style of pasta? If you could pick one, favorite shape, style, whatever.
My favorite dish is spaghetti with anchovies,
Really?
garlic, crushed red pepper,
I'm not an anchovy guy.
plenty of parsley, and breadcrumbs. That's my favorite. It's my favorite dish.
Yeah?
Yep. I like so to the north it's more dairy heavy. And the south is right, so the north is butter, the south is olive oil. Right? That's kind of how it works.
Yeah, yeah.
So I always and I probably applies to every kind of region in the world, but for me. But I always thought that the best food always comes from the places that were more poor.
Yeah,
like
100%.
So I like Southern Italian food. I like those flavors.
That's where you like the barè shit, the fucking Calabria.
yeah, Sicilian, all that
Siciliano, yeah.
all that African influence, and the more influence on Sicilian food. You know,
Makes sense to me.
I like all that. It's
Totally.
yeah, that's my shit.
Dope. Anchovies, huh?
Anchovy,
You like the anchovy.
I love them.
My father likes anchovies.
Right out of the fucking jar, all day.
Sick. Bro.
Yeah.
Salt.
Yeah,
Just straight salt.
I know, love it.
Dry. You need a gallon of agua. Agua fresca.
I'll make it for you one day. I'll change your mind.
Listen, I don't like anchovies, but I am never the person to ever turn down a recommendation.
So
I'll have it.
yeah, do you you know the fish sauces, right? Asian fish sauce, right? So in southern Italy, it comes from, I think the main exporter comes from the Amalfi Coast, but it's Cullatore di Alici, which is basically Italian fish sauce, and it's made with it's anchovies, salt, and water from the Amalfi Coast. Wow. And that's it. And they press it. I sell bottles.
have it.
I sell bottles at the shop. The smell on the fucking nose is terrible.
But it probably tastes crazy.
The curtains don't match the carpet at all. The flavor's amazing.
Listen, I would never turn down a
Yeah.
dish. So
Yeah, I got you.
just trust that.
I got you.
Even though if I don't like it, I would never, if you're recommending something, especially you personally, I'll never say no.
Right.
I'll try it.
Yeah.
You know, I'm not an anchovy guy, but I'll fucking give it a try. You know
Yeah,
what
bro.
I mean?
That's my shit.
So, what's next for you personally and your shop in general? You know, as a whole for the future of the Michael Cosenza and Co.
So for the shop, yeah, we're gonna keep growing the wholesale business. Really get the pasta program going. The sandwiches, we crush the sandwich game. We do really wild shit.
Yeah, those sandwiches you gave me today, dude, especially that what's the joint with the chicken?
The chicken colo and Nduja.
Bro, the
vodka
Nduja
sauce.
joint was fucking, me and my wife killed, bro. All three of them were good.
Yeah.
But that one was stupid.
Yeah, that's a good sandwich.
It's spicy.
Yeah.
It has the right amount of kick.
I wanted to do, I needed to do a variation of like a Parmesan. So
Dude, that one's unreal.
Yeah. It's like,
And dude, the eggplant with the
smoked
tomato
mud.
jam you gave me.
oh yeah, yeah.
And then the joint with the speck and the pesto. And bro, it's
Yeah.
fucking stupid.
Yeah, it was good.
Bro, you're the sandwich guy.
We do, yeah. I never who
Dude.
would have fucking thought.
Stupid.
So I'm actually I'm doing a pop-up, trying to figure out how when I'm gonna start it. It's just been jammed up. But you know, people order food up until like 10 o'clock for the most part. So we close at 5. We used to close at 6. We close at 5 now. So I'm gonna be doing a pop-up at the shop. It's gonna be Mike's Glizzy shop. I'm doing creative hot dogs from 6 to 10.
Oh, yeah, you were telling me about that.
Yeah.
I'm ready, bro. I'm ready. I'm in there. Let me know. I'll come through.
Got yeah.
Straight glissies.
monster fucking the 1-footers,
Monster 1-footer glizzies,
Yeah,
bro.
that's
Gourmet glizzies.
3 to 1.
You're
Yeah.
a sick fuck, bro.
So you want? I'm gonna make it worse. Ready? So my partner was like, "You gotta sell French fries." I'm like, "I'm not making French fries, dude."
Avrit.
He's like, "Why?" I'm like, "You go to a hot dog truck, they don't have fucking fries, bro."
Yeah, it's true.
So then
You're
I
right.
was, yeah, you get chips or whatever. So then I was thinking, I'm like, I gotta do something different. So I'm gonna do like tater tot waffles. So that'll be my side with the hot dog. But then I'm like, so my business model is glizzies and tot waffles. And it's fucking disgusting, and I love it so much.
When's it dropping, bro?
I don't know. I was trying to get it rocking by like May or June, first week of June. It's just got so many fucking events popping up.
Yeah. That's dope, though.
Yeah.
I'm ready. I'll be in there, bro.
And then it's the other thing is that the hot dog that I want to use, I'm having a problem with supply.
What kind of a hot dog is it?
Vienna beef out of Chicago.
Oh, so you already know it's official tissue.
It's a good dog, bro.
Slick Rick.
They just, nobody sells them over here. So I got to find
Get them imported or the whole nine.
find a purveyor, or I got to pay top
You'll
high.
get it.
Yeah.
You never
So
failed
I
yet,
got-
so.
No. Anything that was ever hard, he got through it.
There's a will, there's a way, right?
That's it, bro.
I got a favor to ask, bro.
What's up?
Can we make
Yes.
a signature sandwich
Al's.
or a signature pasta for Al sauce, please?
of course.
We got to do it.
Oh, that's it.
We got to make it. We got to collab. I want to make the first $50 sandwich at your place.
I'm down.
We got to do it,
The
bro.
most I did was 30.
We got to take it a step further. Al Sauce Talk Podcast. We got to go higher.
I did we did camel.
Oh,
Yeah.
I love it. We got to make a signature Al
I'm
sauce
down.
sandwich,
I'm down.
pasta, something silly.
I'll pick your brain. You give me a list of the 10 things that you love and 10 things that
I'll shoot some pulp
you don't fuck
in the
with.
burrata.
That's
all
it.
right?
That's it.
I'll shoot some pulp so you can crack it over to semolina.
That's it. I'm in.
A pulpy burrata.
I've been trying to figure out how to do a shrimp toast parmesan.
Ooh.
How to combine the Chinese shrimp toast.
That'd be dope.
Yeah.
Or even a
That's
shrimp
my game.
po' boy style.
Yeah.
I love shrimp po' boy.
Oh,
so.
all day.
Yeah, that'd be dope.
Yeah, bro.
Well, anyway, listen, bro.
Yeah.
You're the fucking best. Thank you for giving me an extensive education on pasta.
Yes.
And the cooking culinary world in general. Thank you for coming. If you could do me a favor, plug in your socials, however anybody could, what's your address to the Mike and Pasta Sandwich Shop, the whole nine.
Yeah, so you can follow me at Mikey Mortadella, the shop is Mike's Pasta Sandwich Shop.
At Mike's Pasta Sandwich Shop, right?
Yeah, there's an underscore somewhere in there. I'm not sure where.
They'll find it.
They'll
Nutley,
find
baby.
it. 95 Harrison Street. Closed on Mondays. Come through.
What's the website? Mike's Pasta
Mike's
Sandwich
Pasta
Shop.
Sandwich Shop.
But is shop spelled with an E at the end or no?
Yeah, PPE. Like
Okay, so
the old
Mike's
English way.
Pasta and Sandwich
Shop.
Shop, PPE.
Yep.
.com.
Your favorite chef's favorite pasta
Beautiful.
maker.
Listen, bro, you're the best. Thank
are.
you for coming. I had a blast. Bro.
Appreciate you, bro.
You're the fucking GOAT.
Love it.
Beautiful. Take care.